mean, for the fifth fucking time, these books are so amazing.
Yes. To be honest, as we were saying moments ago, I think when they do the books, they should only, like the physical books, they
Yeah.
should only do alternative covers and don't print the normal covers anymore, and just do the normal covers for the digital version.
I mean, then the roles will be reversed then. But because of the exclusivity of an alternate artwork, alternate covers, even in comics, by the way, is the fact that there aren't as many of them around, and obviously,
Yeah.
they're different from what is normal. I mean, that being said, I wouldn't be opposed to all the covers being in this quality and this
Well,
art style,
I mean,
because this is
obviously,
amazing.
the cost will be much
But,
higher. for that.
exactly. But
What I'm saying is, I think they should go completely digital
yeah.
and just print, maybe on demand, the special version,
Yeah, who knows?
special edition version.
Who knows? Yeah, that could work.
By the way, there is something new
yeah.
on these beautiful books.
That actually ties into
Yes.
the grander scope of things of doing this introduction, which is first and foremost to say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. And, we are back on the podcast with a brand new table.
Brand new table, brand new,
so nice.
kind of brand new microphones as well.
Yeah, brand new setup.
A brand new setup
Brand new
in general, cameras as well.
Brand new cameras, which
Yes.
we actually used in the
In
last,
the previous episode,
yeah.
Which we shot while I was grossly in pain. I looked ridiculous.
That was fun, Ma.
It
For
was a
me.
lot of fun. I enjoyed it. The tattoo is
How
healed
is it
already.
healing?
It's looking fantastic.
Perfect.
I'm so happy about it.
So yeah, that brings us to the to the meat of this episode essentially, which is this is the second episode, episode 12, where
Episode
we are
12.
going to have more guests on the podcast, and that is going to be the case, I think, from now until the end of May.
For a long while.
We're gonna
For a
have
long while,
guests.
we're going to have a number of guests. Our first guest, actually, we were guests at Moko Tattoos.
We were guests at Moko Tattoos, and we
and-
just took advantage of the whole situation and shot an episode. Actually,
Yes.
that's exactly what happened.
And
Thank you,
today,
Mooch.
today, thank you, Mooch. Today we're gonna have two more guests, which are gonna appear magically in
we want-
just a moment.
So here's the thing: we had this idea of and like secretly announcing the guest and do the whole "Who's that Pokemon" kind of thing. With like,
That is true. That is true.
although you probably have read the title already of the episode,
Yes,
but
yes.
who's
You
that
can
Pokemon?
imagine. You can figure them, and you will see them in just a moment appearing over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from having guests today and guests in the last episode, we're gonna have guests in episode 13, in episode 14, and then from episode 15
That's gonna be a
onwards,
good one.
there is going to be even multiple guests at the
Yeah,
same
it's gonna
time.
be
So it's gonna be
insane.
crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Talking about crazy stuff, how crazy good looking is this miniature? Can we call it a miniature? Because it's not really mini.
Well, I mean,
It's
so
actually
I
pretty
think it's
large.
just a slightly bit larger than
Huge.
huge. Yeah,
It's a
which is
huge-
almost equivalent to the primeval owlbear, which there is in the monster manual.
In the new Monster Manual 2024.
So first and foremost, this is an owlbear that I 3D printed myself, but I had a very good friend of mine and huge supporter of this podcast and Epic Geeks in general, Ryan Mela. He is also known as Rundu Miniature Forge, and he graciously painted this for us, not only to have it good looking on set, but also to make its way to you guys. Because at the end of this month, on the 28th and the 29th of March, we are going to be at ToyCon 2026.
Yeah, this is our
Exciting.
first official appearance as guests at a convention. We are going to be at Comic-Con, at ToyCon, which is going to be on the 28th and 29th of March.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do with these beautiful mini?
Well, this beautiful mini is gonna stay with us and we're gonna love it and hoard it forever. No, actually, we're gonna give it to you guys.
gonna give it
because
out.
We're gonna give it out. So there's going to be a lot of activities going on those 2 days. Pepe, myself, and the rest of our crew at Epic Geeks are going to be there as well. We're going to have workshops on how to play D&D, on how to create your character, on monster classes as well, so that you could learn, perhaps as a player, how to best tackle certain monster, or as a DM, on how to best present that monster in a game. We're gonna have also giveaways, as we said, for this beautiful thing. You're gonna have the opportunity to win dice with us.
Dice
There's gonna be
giveaway as well.
quite a lot of things to do, but for
Yes.
this special beautiful little guy, which we still need to name. So let us know in the comments below what you'd like to name this guy. Please don't say Bowlbear. Bowlbear the Owlbear.
Don't give them
I'm outside,
horrible ideas.
I'm outside vetoing it. The way to win this is first and foremost to come and say hi at ToyCon. There's
Yes.
going to be a box there, a particular box with paper.
With paper.
With paper.
Wow.
And
What a peculiar stuff. A box with paper.
a box.
So
with paper.
what are we gonna do with this box, Kurt? I don't know why you said it in that way, but that was weird.
I need to give a little bit of a dramatic effect.
Sure.
So this box with paper.
Box with paper.
It's got-
So everyone,
Oh,
just
the
so
days
you
we-
guys know, is people seeing me right now, Jay? So as we were saying this, everyone, literally everyone behind the camera is cringing.
Yeah.
Like, real bad.
I have 3 people
Real
cringing,
bad.
including that.
So yes,
Okay,
there is
so
going to be
back
a
on track.
box.
So the box with paper,
paper.
and on this paper, you can write what you think our next big announcement in April is. So in April, we're going to have a huge announcement for the Epic Geeks, which is going to be, shall we say, the crowning jewel of all our effort that
Yes.
we've been putting on this
So,
past few
yeah,
months.
For a few months, we said, listen, we are working on a project, and now this project, the time for this project to come to fruition has come. So we want your best guesses of what the project is going to be. So there is going to be, very important, paper in a box.
We might also have a pen.
We might also have pens, multiple pens, in which we want you to write your prediction on what this big
Announcement.
revelation is going to be.
Let me just say,
If you guess correctly,
if you guess correctly,
you're gonna enter a raffle.
yes. So if you guess correctly, if you follow us on social media, Instagram and TikTok, and for you guys like me, hello, what was that? Hello, fellow kids on Facebook. You
And on YouTube.
and on YouTube,
And on YouTube.
and
of
on
course.
YouTube. And you can also come and follow us for free on Patreon as well. You get a chance in the raffle to win this magnificent miniature, semi-miniature figure.
Giant shirt?
Uh,
Giant shirt.
okay, now that is cringeworthy.
Yes. Well,
That
I
is
mean, I had
cringeworthy.
to give my support to
So,
the cringe.
box, paper, pens, announcement. Follow us on social medias and YouTube and Patreon, and you get to possibly win this amazing miniature, very graciously painted for us by Rundu Miniature Forge.
Also, we want to thank you for your support, and specifically, we want to thank our Super Geek level
Super Geeks.
patrons, Giovanna, Joy, and
Ryan.
Ryan, which has painted this beautiful mini for us. So thank you so much, guys, for supporting us. Please continue to do it and share it with your friends. Maybe someone else wants to be an Epic Geek. Now, I think our announcement.
I think this is the
Listen, we have reached the point that we actually have an announcement section of the podcast. I feel fulfilled.
The air is feeling pretty thin up here.
Yes. Wow. We have reached the point that, listen, we have been invited to a convention
We've been invited for collaboration.
for collaboration. We have sponsors.
We have guests.
We have guests. Estimated guests.
Esteemed.
Esteemed.
Esteemed guests.
Esteemed guest.
Esteemed
Well,
guests.
English,
Yeah, exactly.
not my language. But we need to
Actually start the episode now.
start the episode now.
So, yeah, without any further papers, let us begin the episode. So welcome back to episode 12 of the Session 1 podcast.
Sorry.
There was just a giant mosquito over there.
So that's just
There's a giant mosquito on every film set I'm on.
I don't know why they do
actually.
that.
I think it's the same
do
one.
they follow you?
I think so.
think
yeah.
they
Did you do a
Definitely
deal
so.
for like €1 million, but the mosquito keeps following you?
I feel like it. Probably that's
Do you have the €1 million?
Do you think-
Immortal mosquito.
Thank you
think
for your
now it-
contribution, Jason.
Do you think nowadays maybe like they get well, let's call them set mosquitoes? Do they get them like in bulk nowadays?
Set mosquitoes, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
Like in this economy, you have to get them in bulk, right?
from Temu probably.
Also, I think the people with the
Escaped.
sketch, like they're really good at, because I mean it's kind of flat, so to
oh yeah, on
hit
the
a mosquito
on the,
like that is gonna be
on the board.
not easy.
Well, regardless, I think with all that,
we could stop with the bullshit.
we can start with the bullshit to actually start the
recording.
episodes and continue or
Wait,
rather
you guys
continue
haven't
the
started
episode.
yet?
Oh, we have actually. We just tried. We're in a bit of a state of denial. Hello again, and welcome back onto the new, extremely sophisticated Epic Geeks Tower studio that we have over here. We have a couple of guests with us today. As we have Pepe with us.
Well,
Yeah, and we
I am part of the deal.
He
You
doesn't
can't
leave
get
at
rid
this
of
point.
me.
yeah,
But apart from me, we have two guests.
We're here too.
we have Jason from Nephilim and also Myron from Nephilim Creations. Correct?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Please.
Indeed.
So you have been formally invited to this podcast on the first, shall we say, official in-studio collaboration.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys are the first.
Glad to know it's
guests.
We get to break in the studio.
Yes.
It was yes.
So which part of breaking do we get to?
Well, listen, we arrived here and you were already here, so you had to roll at least a stealth check and
Yeah.
to break in and
Pretty
to what is it called when they like
lock
lock
pick.
picking?
Yeah.
Yeah, lock picking.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have
check.
to fit in the lift as well.
So which one of the two of you is the rogue?
I feel like between us, we have to like commission a rogue. 'cause
Yes.
let's be honest,
Both of us are too conspicuous.
yeah. I don't think either of
They
us
had a
would do it.
person on the inside. It was Jade.
By the way, hi Jade.
Hello,
Hi,
Jade.
Jade.
Hello.
Yeah, Jade's here every episode. But yes, I mean, at least in this episode, we kept on track and talked about D&D in the first 5 minutes of the episode. In the last episode we had with Much from Moko, and we said,
Shout out to Much from Moko, by the way.
hello, Much from we said, we gonna be talking about D&D, and we talked almost exclusive about everything except D&D.
Yeah,
Have to do it.
we trailed away really fast,
Hey, we have a lot of topics we can go over.
Yeah.
Whenever you want.
and we will not go over any of them.
Probably.
That's what we
Excellent.
usually do. Like we say, listen, we're gonna talk about this, and this, and then we talk about whatever we feel like at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's the spirit of this podcast, mostly.
Exactly. So mostly we just list the topics we want to avoid and list them as the agenda.
Pretty much. Yeah. Then the audience can get an email with a PowerPoint.
Exactly. Like, you know.
So I think that's fine.
That's what our Patreon is for. So on our Patreon we just show what we actually would like to speak on the podcast, and then we just
So this is
talk about
what,
other
so
stuff.
this is what you're missing. It sucks to be you, I guess.
So
Yeah.
we were saying you guys are the two minds behind Nephilim.
Minds is a stretch.
well,
but
it's a
yes.
stretch.
Well, I mean, you're the two
Define
empty
minds.
You're the two empty bodies
vessels that
the
are
empty vessels
Nephilim Creations.
behind Nephilim Creations.
It has slowly
So-
turned us into a husk of a man.
Well,
Yes, indeed.
It has.
But
That's-
that's us. We're Nephilim. So, what's Nephilim, you might ask? I'm glad you
yes,
are.
please tell us
Yes.
what about Nephilim?
So, Jason and I, aside from our very private individual separate lives, we are not a unit, we are not roommates. As far as Nephilim is concerned, we got together to create this immersive narrative studio collective of sorts.
Mhm.
The idea is that we wanted to explore the idea of immersive storytelling. And between the two of us, we kind of just decided, hey, listen, we have a lot of similar interests when it comes to things like fiction, fantasy, roleplay, storytelling. And yeah, the goal is that we figured, hey, this isn't something that you get to see a lot of, especially in Malta. And we
Mhm.
figured,
Exactly. Myron did actually go through the Maltese archives to check if LARPs have been done before. We could
Is that true?
Yep, I try to do a lot of research, especially because when you try to do certain marketing, obviously you want the snappy titles, you want to be able to. It would be cool to say this is the first one,
Yes.
for example.
or
Yeah.
first of such scale.
Yeah, at the very least, we
Exactly.
can say, yeah, very good. Yep. That's a
Yeah,
hook.
just
That's a call forward.
Don't worry
very,
about that.
very subtle.
Don't worry about
Sure,
that.
cool.
Don't worry about that.
So yeah, we don't want to obviously big talk it, but
Please.
we're happy about the fact that, to the best of our knowledge, it is the first, at least, large-scale interactive.
And I'd say
role-playing
even
event.
smaller scale because
Even relatively small scale. We're aware that something similar
Yeah,
might have
yeah.
happened in the past. In our case, we draw a lot in terms of theater and performance as well. So we do feel that we have that makes it distinct to
Mhm.
other forms of similar LARP or immersive theater that you would find abroad. But yeah, and we find we're still in the experimental stage
Yo,
of figuring
without
out
a doubt,
the
without a
the
doubt.
sheer amount of stuff that we can do with it.
First of all, I've participated for the first time to a LARP last December,
November, no.
In that very,
Uh,
Yeah.
very windy.
in that very windy
yeah.
and rainy, but it was fantastic.
Oh no,
It was
no!
incredible.
I feel
So
like
really,
we
props
did.
to you guys.
No, we checked the weather. It wasn't meant to be that way, but
Weather is weather.
I mean, weather is weather.
Weather is weather, and I think it
yeah,
added
yeah.
to the atmosphere of what we're trying
So-
to go for as well.
Yeah, it was
I think we have said
perfect.
in our episode, the one
Yeah.
in which we actually wore our
Episode 7 or 8, I think.
yeah, which we thought you should have invested a little bit more on a wizard casting control weather for
That
that
would have been
day.
interesting.
Yes,
yeah.
that
we're
would have
in
been-
talks with some investors high above.
Uh-huh. In order to control the
Yes.
weather
No,
for,
yeah,
for
which
those
we've
days.
tried Etsy witches so far. It hasn't
They had
worked.
one.
No, I think
No.
next is the Catholic Church that we should give a go.
Jesus.
We might want
And we're off.
And all right. And that was all for today. Thank you to Jason and Myron for coming.
But jokes aside, the weather is unfortunately something
Yeah, it's
fine. No, yeah,
we have no
obviously,
control over.
obviously.
But whatever it is, I mean, in this case of like what we're going for, the game was still set within winter in the
Yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah.
grand
Yeah.
story. So it worked out
No,
well.
and the atmosphere was absolutely fantastic.
Ah,
Was on point.
Apart from the
We-
torches being constantly blown up.
Yeah, but I mean, that's also part of the whole kind of like
What would happen
immersion.
in reality.
Really, yeah, exactly. It is what would happen in reality. And we
And
did
also-
we did mention it. We did mention it back then that despite the inconvenience of having rain and wind and the cold and whatever, like it was fucking kick-ass, man. We had
Yeah,
so
it
much
was,
fun.
it was-
immersion is immersion.
It was
Exactly.
very fun.
Considering that it lends itself to the narrative, we
Uh-huh.
try to be aware of what time of year the setting is.
Yeah.
It blends a lot. Obviously, if we go into force majeure and it's hailing and
Yeah.
there's
Uh-huh.
tsunamis, then
Really.
it's a problem.
No, I mean, it was
But,
bearable. It was bearable. Like
No, yeah.
It was
the
for the
weather
most
was
part
was
bearable.
not
But some-
incredible. Was a bit windy. Was a bit
But-
cold. A little rainy, but it was not insane.
When we design these games, obviously we have to keep in mind of the weather, hence the reason the contract games are when they are and when the main game is when it is. One of the perks we have of being Malta as an island and
Yeah.
the climate we have is
Dead in the center of the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
we tend to have better weather than the rest of Europe.
yes.
When I was doing a LARP in March in Poland, I had snow. Here we had
Yeah.
people having heat stroke.
That is,
That's true. That is
very
true.
That
Yeah.
is very true.
So
By the way, we
It's a bit
just
different.
gave for granted that everyone knows what LARP is, and probably
going
most
to ask,
most of our audience probably will know what LARP is by
To some
now,
extent
but
or another. Sure.
Yeah.
Is this the first time that you're bringing it up on the podcast?
It is
No,
actually,
it
I
is
think,
second
the
time. No, I mean,
second or third
To
time
be honest,
because
we have brought it up a bunch of time.
Yeah.
What LARP is, but
Yeah.
just if there is anyone who's watching, which is uninitiated,
just joining us.
would you like to? You are the specialist. I'm actually the
So-
least experienced.
So I think the best way to describe it is so for anyone who is maybe less in tune of the
Yeah.
whole role play scene, the best way to describe this is if you're playing a video game but in real life. For people more of probably of our own generation or more into the role play scene in general, it is a real world interactive storytelling immersive experience where you play a character, you
Mhm.
have your own in-world fictional character, your own
Mhm.
setting, your own backstory, and your own everything really,
Yeah.
your own identity, and you act it out, play it out through his own trials and tribulations as if it's going into the
Mhm.
world. I think that would be the general
Yeah.
gist and
At least our version of it is a
Our
bit
version.
closer to that. Love, in general, you might know that the sheer scope of what you can do with it
Is
is
insane.
immense. So there
is.
might be versions of it that are pretty much cut and paste. For example, Dungeons and Dragons in
Mm.
real life. There are versions of it abroad that practice things like numerical values,
Mm.
dice throwing in the middle of it.
Yeah, yeah.
like one of the simplest forms you can do. You can actually download. This is a nuclear submarine simulator.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can download it, put on your computer, and you and like 4 friends can have a nuclear submarine experience in what you can do it here. if you
Yeah,
really
pretty
want to.
much.
You just
has-
need like
yeah,
3
yeah, yeah.
screens.
Number
That
generators
could
and
be
Yeah.
the
so on.
simplest form. Minimal prep. It's all open source. You can just do it.
Nice.
And
let,
then
let
you-
us know if you'd like us to do it.
That's an idea for an episode.
be
Maybe
fun.
we can
I
have
have
you
an
guys
old
back
uniform.
and
We
play
can use for
that.
it.
What we try to do with it in our case, we weren't super interested in trying to isolate a niche in the market or anything
Yeah.
like that. We try to play to our strengths, and the strength we have is that, at the very least in my case, I have my narrative background, theater, and so on. Jason has a knack for making things happen and creating something tangible.
Yeah.
So we wanted it to feel a lot more like collaborative storytelling
Mhm.
and community building in terms of the kind of theatricality we add to it. So there is
Mhm.
the usual. I think if I were a betting man, which I am, and it's a problem that I'm dealing with.
Gambling addict.
I would say the idea that someone might, if I say, what do you think if I say LARP, maybe you might think people in massive armor, foam swords,
Yeah.
clashing in
Very,
a
very high
battlefield,
fantasy or fantasy.
very
kind of.
high
Yeah.
fantasy stuff like Warcraft, for example. I think in our case we do have that element because it is obviously
It is
cool,
cool.
it's
very fun.
It's
It's
yeah.
appealing for a very wide set of people. But I think what we try to delve into more is the interpersonal character arcs, the drama, the politics, the moral dilemmas. It's the stuff that actually I feel would actually really engage people on an individual level.
When it comes to role playing and that sort of thing, and I've said this before on many times, even on the podcast and off podcast, really, because a lot of people when they're playing D&D or role playing games, they tend to focus on the combat aspect of
Yeah.
it, which is
Ah.
notable. It's a big
It's fun,
aspect.
yeah, yeah.
It's one third of it.
But in reality, the social aspect, the role playing aspect itself, in and of itself, is for far more
With-
storytelling in my
without-
experience.
without a doubt, in games like D&D, you tend to have a lot of more story focus because obviously it's tabletop.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have an extent to how tangible the experience
Yeah.
is. Already, you have the
Yeah,
dice rolls. You have some shenanigans of a bard going a bit nuts. Which, let's face
All
it,
of them.
all of them. Um,
Not all
so,
bards. Not all bards.
But most bards.
but most bards.
most bards.
So
Yeah.
when it comes to tabletop, you have to. It's a more story focus where you have to focus on you're there, you're in the plot, what's gonna happen. So then you have on the other hand when you go on more theatrical forms of when you have tactics in general, you're just watching the show. And then when you have LARPs which are larger in scale, especially with 80 players, you tend to have already have the grand story.
Yeah.
But and everyone does still has their own part to play, and it's still important. But when you have the grander story, you tend to lose a bit more the personal focus you get with
course.
D&D. So especially on the scale we're doing, so we're around 36 players. We have maybe 10 NPCs. The rest are crew members. We're able to focus more on who is Kurt Devon Corso's character on a personal level and his personal problems. How are Pepper's character's personal problems? And even with the NPCs, we can develop them to be coincidentally all alcoholics, but
But that's just a personal preference
I think
of the actual people who plays the NPC.
It's more like consequentially alcoholic.
Consequentially, to be fair, that's how I've described myself in a lot of environments.
Consequentially
but the jokes aside, we can focus on why does that character tend to gravitate towards the bottle rather than being a happy-go-lucky individual. Especially when we have dark fantasy, which is like The Witcher. Let's face it. People can say, "Oh, I wish I was in that world." No, you don't. That word sucks.
Yeah, that's what
It
it's
was
pretty
horrible.
tough. It's pretty
It's
tough
tough.
word.
It's
Yeah.
horrible. Most people would not live more than 10 years if they're lucky, and those 10 years would be farming the land.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we know,
until you become the farm.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially, until you become
or,
what
so
you
some
eat.
people have always been the farmed land. They've just been waiting.
You are what you eat. Ghouls.
Pretty much.
Ghouls.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't we all?
I've played a game
Aren't we
where
all?
I've played a LARP where one of my friends, their character trait was they eat monsters. And
Okay.
he would go around telling stories of how they made goulash.
Goulash.
This is one of those jokes that Kurt would make on
Yeah.
our podcast.
You see why we're friends now.
Yes. So something that we hadn't specified until now is that your LARP, specifically like Nephilim LARP, the one that is going on now,
Is-
that is running at the moment, is
Technically,
based in the
as of
world
this episode,
of-
next week,
20
actually,
Yeah, as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
as of the airing of this episode.
Yes,
Yes.
as the airing
For a
of the
moment, I
episode.
had a little heart
Next
attack.
Yes.
Because I'm wait, what?
Yes, not at the time of the shooting, but at the time of the
We have
airing
to
of
go.
this
We're not done
episode.
yet.
It will be 1 week away. We almost killed the two creators of Nephilim with this news. But yeah, so your the story arc that is going on at the moment is in
Inspired
the
by-
world inspired
Yeah.
by the world of The Witcher.
Well, yeah. Well, there's
Yes, indeed. That's the first. That's the essentially we wanted. The idea behind it is that we wanted to. The priority is to make it as accessible as possible, and going slightly back to what we were saying before, the benefit that we have of trying to make this narrative driven is the fact that we kind of intentionally and consequentially boutique as an experience. Why? Because anything large scale needs a large scale budget. We have the blessing and the curse of a low budget, which means that we can't really afford to do the massive large scale things that you would find abroad, where you would even get the kind of LARPs that are hundreds of people on either side in full plate
Those
armor,
battle quests,
Yeah.
those
which are
great.
incredible.
So you mean there are no dragons?
There are
We do,
dragons
there-
of the mine.
Yeah, there are dragons, but they're metallic and they make noise and they fly overhead.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But aside from that, the idea is that we wanted to focus on the personal. We wanted to feel a lot more close to home on an individual scale. And The Witcher, we found, let us do that. At the very least, subcommunities which are primarily, then obviously we took inspiration from the games,
Yeah.
etc., etc. We found that as a story, it focuses maybe a bit less on the grand scale of things, even though it definitely does get there, but a lot on the personal stories. It is accessible. It has the level of familiarity where someone might be able to, even if they might not know exactly what it is,
Yeah.
the aesthetic resonates.
Yes.
So we found that that might be the best option to.
And going
carry
on that,
with.
for any new player, it is better if you have no clue.
Yeah.
Actually, that was
It is-
I mean, okay, it was not entirely my experience because I was a little bit familiar with the
A little
Witcher
bit,
world.
Sure.
I mean, sure. we do-
I
it's
had
fine.
I hadn't played any of the video games. I hadn't read any of the books. I only watched a couple of seasons of the Netflix show, which I know it's very controversial
It takes
and
its
a
own
lot of people
liberties,
don't.
but
Yeah,
it's its
Yeah,
own
takes a
version.
lot of
Yeah.
liberties
I
with the
mean,
story.
what we have a bit different is that we're set before the game. So
Yeah.
just a bit of lore that we can share.
Yeah.
The game is set during like 10 years after the collapse of the Order of Witcher. So who didn't know? Now there are the Witcher schools, so Viper School, Wolf School, Griffin
Yeah.
School. Before they were a knightly order, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were an order of knights that were able to do small magics, aka witchings, hence the name Witcher.
Yeah.
And then they fracture. So our story picks off around 10, 15 years after that fracture of fledgling schools, how they deal with everything, and the NPCs as they go on.
Yeah.
Which, correct
Uh-huh.
me if I'm wrong, is about 1,000 years.
No, around 200-300
Before
A
years.
good couple of
100.
centuries before.
couple of centuries.
couple
I think the
Okay.
games are
Before
set in the
Geralt,
Before the
Geralt of
Geralt
Rivia.
Arc.
timeline that you would find in the
Uh-huh.
books.
I
so
think-
Geralt is like 1250 AD, and ours are in the 1000s.
Slap
Yeah,
around
okay.
the
Yeah.
1000
I think it's a great and opportune time to have a LARP situated in that era, because I think there's that little enough information to have some sort of structure, but also
Yeah.
not enough information for you to be able to have a certain level of liberty and storytelling.
We're not trying to canonize anything
Exactly.
with the
No.
main story. We found that it's far enough back that it can be close enough aesthetically to what people are familiar with.
Yeah.
But enough that we can allude a bit to what's coming that people who've read the books might be aware of or who've played the games. But it's wide enough that we can offshoot
And
do our own
and in
thing.
a way, like when the story ends, it would make sense in the grand scheme of
Yeah.
the Witcher story. That like, oh yeah, with a bit of liberty here and there, it makes sense of the whole
Yeah.
story.
I think that's something that is very important for any kind of storyteller, especially like I mean I did role play on World of Warcraft, I role play on Dungeons and Dragons and everything. And whenever you're trying to adapt your story to not a medium, to essentially to some sort of
For a
lore,
different play, yeah.
to some sort of lore which has already been established as canon, I think it's a very good idea to make sense of where this is going and how it does not affect what is actually
100%.
canon right
Exactly,
now.
Yes. And the blessing that we have with
Uh-huh.
that is that we had spoken even to CDPR.
Okay.
about this, to CD Projekt Red, who are the intellectual property holders for the video games and anything beyond Sapkowski's books. And we got their blessing on it
Yes.
in terms of doing it. But
Legally, we're legally
yes,
doing this.
So we are doing it with approval.
Very
but
important.
very important. But aside from that, what we also made clear is that while we're not officially their heralds, we're not
Yeah.
trying to continue that specific story, but we have free reign in terms of this is not their canon specifically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is not their IP. We're not
Yeah.
trying to make it their IP.
Yeah,
We're
we
doing
have
this
that
is
as a foundation.
this is purely a fan-made creation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're building
Uh,
up from that. We have the luxury also the fact that since Malta is the center of the Mediterranean and it derives from so many different cultures.
Yeah.
And the Witcher series, if anything else, is an examination of
Yeah.
cultures. It starts off as an inspiration of European fantasy and it continues to offshoot from there. Malta has so much more than just European fantasy. And so many different things will resonate past the foundation that it is an excellent way to take that perspective and
Ah.
apply it to
Ah.
such a different culture to
The-
what The Witcher
the
originally is based on.
multiculturalism of The Witcher being the good and the
Yeah.
bad, because let's face it,
Yeah,
of
with,
course.
with many themes, especially
Yeah,
in,
for
in
sure.
medieval Europe.
Yeah, for sure, it
Yeah.
resonates a lot with the
Mm.
multicultural cultural aspect of Malta,
Exactly.
the good and the bad.
Exactly,
So,
exactly,
yeah,
and
that
the-
makes a lot of sense.
Yes,
Mhm.
and there's elements of it that eventually I feel year after year, event after event, we are much more interested in examining that
Mhm.
Maltese perspective.
Mhm.
Maybe not even literally, in some cases, possibly
Mhm.
literally,
Mhm.
but in the colonialist idea, in the different type of
Mhm.
multiculturalism that is here, in the very different mindset
E-
that we bring to the
Even
table.
going on the architecture of the,
The
place we use.
architecture.
So
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the campsite of Mossa that we make use of is a British military installation, which lends perfectly to the kind of story we decided
Yeah.
to go
Mhm.
for our
Mhm.
fictional establishment of Valemore,
Yeah.
which is non-canon, something we made as a military outpost, which goes very well with
Yeah,
Brit-
goes with the vibe.
which is 18th,
Uh-huh.
18th century to
18th
be
century
18th century
to 19th century.
Yeah.
military
Military,
architecture
uh-huh.
of Britain, which
Mhm.
goes well
And then
enough
so-
with
I
medieval
mean,
Europe.
I have to say, and obviously not just because you guys are here, but the events that you have crafted. I mean, I've been there since episode 0,
Yeah.
like since the pilot project.
You were
Oh,
there
co-
since the cleansing.
The cleansing.
For context, Kurt has been incredibly supportive. Pepe's here too. Kurt has been very grateful.
I'm new.
I'm new.
I'm the new guy.
We're very grateful
Yeah,
for the
he-
fact
he-
that Kurt has been willingly a guinea pig for all of our operations so far. So we're
Sure,
very
let's go
grateful
guinea
for that. And over to you.
And to
No,
be honest, sorry if
no,
I
no,
interrupt
please.
you. That is a testament
Mhm.
of how well things have been going since a really long time with your operation. Because when we started the podcast, I happened to be here with Kurt, with Jade, and other friends that are also part of the LARP community. And I was like, so everyone is going to this LARP thing, and I'm not. Like, okay, I'm gonna go as well. And as soon and I said this on camera. It's on camera for so many times. As soon as I stepped in, the meeting we had last August, I think. Was it
the
in
meet,
August?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, the meet.
Which was the first time.
Oh yeah,
the,
well,
we
community,
met.
the random community meet with like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
end of my beer.
It was
Yes,
such a
yes.
lovely experience. Like everyone in the community was so welcoming and so friendly.
And mind you, a
And-
quarter of those people were new. They hadn't come to a game
Yeah.
yet.
it's true.
yeah,
No, we've been very blessed in terms
Yes.
of
Was
kind of
absolutely-
community we have.
That is
Absolutely
true. That
incredible.
is also evidence to the kind of product, for lack of a
Yeah,
better
I
word, that
guess
you
so,
have
yeah.
created. Because honestly, like first and foremost,
You were going to mention you were here.
yeah,
since the
I
beginning,
was there
exactly.
since episode 0, and even episode 0 with a shoestring budget, practically.
Yeah, now it's
I-
now it's two shoes.
Now it's two
Back then,
shoestrings,
Exactly.
but-
Back then, it costed me, I think, 50 euros, including the sangria.
Yeah, and we had like sangria, we had like a keg of beer.
Yeah,
I
got
remember,
2 kegs of beer, and the beer went so quickly.
and we had ftiras, we had bread.
We had-
which
Oh,
I think
yes, yes,
John,
we had-
John's mother made.
Yes,
I think.
those
We
two
Yeah.
had the
Angela.
Maltese Thera and the
Angela.
Dream.
Yeah, I mean, we had so much fun in that episode 0 pilot project. It was like,
And that was like just a 4 or 5 hour thing. In June, would not turn on and would not recommend doing it.
No,
Yeah,
I
in
almost-
Malta
yeah.
in June. That's crazy.
it wasn't
That's
as hot as I
crazy.
remember it, though. I don't
It
think it
was
was.
as it was as sweaty as I remembered it.
Yeah.
But
What had affected that as well was the fact that we found an indoor location that was filled with candlelight as well, so the fire
Yes,
also radiated.
Yeah.
the aesthetic that it made was.
But yeah, so you
That
can
is true.
arguably be one of the best people to attest to how the community's grown and how
Yes,
the game has
absolutely.
evolved
Okay,
as
so
well.
first and foremost, I think let's speak for Jason and myself, especially because like we've
Yeah.
known each other for a very long number of years
How
now.
long have you known each other?
Too long.
Roughly.
Since 2015 or 2014. That's how long.
Do you
about
remember
12
me in
years.
my Big Boss costume?
Yes, I
There you
do.
go.
Then
Yeah.
then
I
yes.
remember you at the I love gaming parties. Remember them like
No, that was after.
That was
That's
after.
slightly
as
after,
well.
man. That's, I
Well,
think
roughly
that's
around
right.
that time.
All right. So
Anyway, like,
so a
2014,
good
2015.
4.5 centuries. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
No, and like we come from different circles of friends. We come from different circles of interest, like cosplay and the gaming stuff
Yeah.
and everything, and scouts as well. Like we both.
The funny thing is, he knew my brother before he knew me. So
Yeah, exactly. I knew Benji. So I've seen the different projects, and
he just saw my
I'm
ADHD.
I-
evolve all the
exactly.
time.
he speaks as if I don't have my own evolving parallelly.
No, yeah. But
I
you just
mean,
saw mine go from this
Jesus.
like, oh shit.
But the level of effort and the level of quality that you're putting, both of you are putting into the LARP, is something that is frankly very very heartening and encouraging to me. Because what was the problem when we did not have any more access to the Polish Witcher LARP? biggest problem we had was that we had
There's-
nothing. No, there was no alternative for
Uh-huh.
us. Or no
Actually,
accessible alternative. Let's put it this way.
When we come to like how Nephilim came to be, actually one of the stories was
Yeah.
so not going to get into why Witcher School ended. That
No,
is
I mean,
its
you can
own
look that up.
thing.
It's a whole
People can look that up.
different.
But that's with any kind of event like that after enough time.
Exactly.
Some of them start, some of them end, some
Yeah,
of them
yeah.
start again.
Exactly.
Someone
Yeah.
used that phrase for a lot as well.
Probably.
No, they did. They did.
That's how they ended the episodes.
Really?
No,
Okay.
no,
Something and something wins.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the fourth, fifth, sixth wall has been broken. No one kidding.
exactly.
No, we
Press
just
the
had.
pause button, damn it.
Yeah, someone
We're still frozen. No. Okay.
someone hit the microphone, and it wasn't Pepe.
Hey,
I think we should
a win
acknowledge
it's a
that
win.
success.
A win it's a win. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's a
You
shit.
get one less slashing in the game.
Back on track.
Starting off the
lashing.
we were talking about we were talking about starting off with
Yes,
the
how the-
offshoots of different LARPs.
Yeah.
So basically, so yes, we had the two characters. One of the characters I played with was when Kurt, a year or two after, came.
2019, actually.
So
yeah,
you came
year
like 3
after.
games after.
There you go.
Kurt ended up in one of my games. We interacted 0 times.
That's true. That is true. We actually stayed in the same Airbnb before we started, and
The
we
only
came down
in-game
together.
interaction was that I had an adoptive Witcher parent, and that was his master. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in
was it.
3 days, I didn't even see him.
To be fair, we had how many people were?
80 people.
80
Witcher
players.
School
I mean,
was
come
Yeah,
on.
that's a
It's an
pretty
ambitious
large.
thing.
Yeah, it's an.
They managed to do it well. Anyway, so basically, Witcher School came to its time. It had to end, etc., etc. And I remember flying back home. It was 2022. COVID just ended, and Poland after
Yeah.
COVID was nuts.
Was.
But Jason, restrictions are lifted. So the weekend I was there for the last game, restrictions of COVID had just ended, and it was
Okay.
like it never
Wow.
happened. Hey, would you like to taste my drink? Oh, great! Glug glug glug. Well, I'm not gonna throw away my booze. Give it here.
For the munch.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I came back to Mont. Was like, what am I gonna do now without this LARP? Fuck it, I'll make my own.
And which year was it that it actually started? When was it? 2 years ago now?
I think
2 years
2024
ago,
was
roughly. Yeah, I think
the
24. End
24
of
was
24, we did the pilot. the
episode.
pilot.
No,
Yeah.
June was
It
episode
It
0.
was June episode
Exactly.
0. I remember
yeah,
June.
yeah. That was the one.
Yeah.
That I want to pivot to these questions. I wanted to ask you guys. So obviously at Epic Geeks we are a duo and we bring different things to the table.
Mhm.
And obviously, yeah, you two have a lot of things in common, and but your personality seems quite different. So how do you
we need
feel?
the variety.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. How do you feel that what each one of you brings to the table when it comes to being a creator and collaborating on a project?
So a
that
lot
is
of ADHD
this-
and caffeine.
Yeah,
I mean, that's even that's a given.
that checks
to be
out.
fair.
That checks
checks
out.
And I have my winning
Uh,
smile. Moving on, next one. But yeah, we're I think backstory is the best way to do it realistically. So in our case, we had met maybe around I think roughly at the same time. Like technically, it was like what Comic-Con.
I think technically me and
Through
Myron
sheer
met when we were
periphery,
like
when we were
17 or
like-
16.
I
or
was-
even
I-
before. No, because
so
you're
in my
younger.
case, I was even younger. So I think I had met him when I was like what 14-ish.
And then there was
So-
a bit of a time skip. So
there was a time
One
skip
Piece
because,
moment
yeah,
where
yeah. Because obviously the way, as we mentioned, the fact that Malta has a lot of shared communities, and we had come across each other because of the Comic Con community, similar interest in terms of even back then I cosplayed a little bit. Jason was a lot more involved in the cosplay scene. We had interacted there. Then there was a bit of a time skip, as you do, because
Yeah, of
different
course.
communities stuff
Yeah.
interact. You go off, you come back, you meet again,
exactly
and then what had happened was
you had delved more into the theater aspect over
Yeah,
time.
I
I
had-
had delved more into perfecting cosplay, crafting, and some.
Yeah.
You were there for most of it.
pretty much it. And then I think Jason had come to see me in a play.
Yes. So Victoria, my girlfriend, dragged me to watch a theater play. I was still hesitant of going to watch theater at that point. I was like, fine. And then I was just like, hey, this is pretty good. Hey, I recognize that. Oh, he's grown. He's tall. Damn, he was
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Yeah. So I think by that point, I had gone off to work a lot more into the creative aspect of things, so writing, storytelling, acting, etc.,
Mhm.
etc. And I think we spoke for a bit. The topic came up, and we thought, this might be an actual feasible idea. I love immersive theater, improvisation, that kind of a thing. Jason has his background
Mhm.
with the LARPing as well. By that point, I was already running my own tabletop games,
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, Call of Cthulhu.
Because yeah,
Which
because
is
you're,
actually-
you are a
well,
DM as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a
which
DM
is
as
actually
well.
how we met.
Exactly. Yeah,
Actually, we
yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
met in person,
Not
but we
officially.
had spoken.
Yeah, I had rejected Pepe
Yes.
in one of my games when he applied for them.
It's okay. The team
Yes.
goes on.
Yeah,
I mean, to be
for
honest,
good reason, because
to be honest-
unfortunately for Pepe, he was already experienced,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah,
needed
yeah.
people who were blank slate.
I think that was a game of Curse of Strahd.
Yes, it was an
Which
offshoot
I
of Curse
I
of
had
Strahd.
already been DMing for a number of years,
Yeah.
and I literally sent him a message saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, listen, I know everything about Curse of Strahd, but if you want like a spy, like someone that is on Strahd's side, like, I can be that. So it makes sense that I know already some stuff." It's like, nah. To be honest, I'm looking for someone.
Yeah, because
someone
we
that is-
needed someone really small, but yeah.
Exactly,
But for that, to be
exactly.
fair, so that was our first interaction, and then we had the. Recently, we were able to do the
Yeah.
first episode
Yeah.
together, which was the short LARP that we did
which
last
was
November.
which was incredible.
The contract
Yeah,
game.
yeah, the
contract,
contract game. But long story short, that's kind of what we got into it. So I think the variety between us is that with my background, I focus a lot more on the beat by beat, the emotional storytelling,
Mhm.
pacing, narrative, blah blah
I
blah.
have more of the grander.
Jason makes it happen. Jason focuses a lot on the
so I have the
tangible.
tangible aspect. So the monster costumes you will see in game
Yeah.
are made by myself and a bit of help on the side from
Including help from Kurt, even because
yes.
even
I've
not
had-
specifically even
Yes,
the
but for the
monsters,
monster
No.
costumes, just for the sake of anyone watching, just to not have influence of who it might be, for the sake of the story, they will be made known after the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
But basically, so when it comes to the story, for example, the contract game, you had all the escape room style puzzles. I made all those myself,
Yeah.
using Arduino electronics, electromagnetic switches, and I
Yeah.
think you enjoyed them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it
It's also
I
what I
made the
said.
bloody coffin as well.
Yeah, the
There you
coffin.
go.
The coffin was an interesting take on it.
Yeah, also the
I wa-
corpse that was in there. So where did you find the corpse?
that's a good question. So we properly
You cannot legally
So you
divulge
see-
this.
no, let's just say so far, no one has successfully gotten a refund.
Exactly.
Okay.
I may or may not have forgotten someone in Valemore. let's put it-
Yeah, I mean,
To be honest, the smell was awful, but super realistic. It
Yeah.
looked
yeah, Pepe forgot the
Realism
word.
is key.
it looked like lifelike or deathlike.
Yes.
that was a perfect moment because Tanya and myself were the first two people in the game
Yes.
inside that
Yes, we did the
crypt.
cat potion sequence.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
cat potion sequence. So we drank the potion and we went in. And the second I stepped in, I'm like, Kurt inward, like, the fuck?
Wait.
And
It was
then-
probably like,
that
this
was like,
dickhead made a coffin and got it here.
Kurt was like, the fuck? And Devin was like, that's what I'm doing.
And mind you, the thing is, we're in the dark, so at
Yeah.
some point,
Yeah,
Mine
yeah.
just comes in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Listen, and to be honest, at that point, like, okay, you and Tanya went in first, and then
Yeah.
the rest of us
Joined
joined.
in later, yeah.
And at that point, we hadn't seen Bernard yet.
Oh yes.
So in my mind, I was like, that coffin is too small for Bernard to
Me
be in
too.
there for this long.
Wait, he wanted to be.
He wanted to be
By
in
the
it.
end of it, he begged to be in that coffin.
I was like, I hope Bernard is not in
We're
there.
talking about Tanya and Bernard. They're friends of ours. They've also
Yeah.
helped us with the Epic Geeks in the past.
Yes.
And
and-
Bernard's also one of our NPCs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows Bernard. Everyone knows Bernard.
Actually, yeah, Bernard is part of so many communities. in
Yeah, it's
Malta.
true.
Like
That's
very
because he's a
well-known-
professional hooker.
Yes.
He runs around with a hook, you see.
Shout out,
that's
shout out to
Um,
Bernard.
Shout out to Bernard.
We love you.
We love
We do
Um,
love you. So yeah, I mean that contracts thing was amazing. I mean,
Yes.
the most memorable moment will always be when you and I went. So here's this thing, and that was amazing. That was amazing. Okay, just a little bit of context. So during the break, when everyone is eating, Myron and I, our characters were all playing kind of like, listen, let me show.
Even for context, the break is in character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Narrative continues.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is in
Always.
character.
So
Always.
we were talking about like what happened, and I was like, let me show you what we found in the crypt. And we walked off, went into the crypt, and the door was closed, so we opened slightly, and we see there was Andre as a photographer there, dressed up and
Fully clothed,
fully
so that he
clothed
is-
and everything, and Bernard, who was also role playing one of the
One of the
NPCs, one
monsters.
of the monsters. And as I opened the door, Myron just behind me, we see Bernard and Andre like having a smoke and just eating something, and suddenly they do this.
Slow turn.
And Bernard just picks up the sword slowly. I just lost it. I mean, I don't usually like to break character in these games, but that was one of the
cases.
moments when I
Yeah.
died.
I think both. I think so far we've done how many games technically so far? 4. I think it's 4. Yes, 2 contracts technically if you
Yeah.
count the
3.
pilot game. So 3. We're going
Yeah,
on to
yeah.
our
We're
fourth
going
game.
on
yeah.
the fourth one.
I think Bernard has been
Next
the
week.
catalyst for breaking character
Oh,
That
twice.
is true. That is true. He did the same thing in the episode 1. He
Yeah.
was the only person who managed to make me break character.
Yeah, I
Like
think
it's
he broke
insane.
Sophie.
yeah. So
He
far,
broke
I think
everyone.
So
Bernard-
good.
That's
The
the thing.
Incubus of Valemore works in
Yeah.
mysteries.
I've heard so many stories about the
Oh,
the
You're
Incubus.
gonna have to experience this.
and besides that, like Bernard is such a funny guy.
Mhm.
Like it's
He's just,
so
he just makes it amazing, whatever character he plays.
Yeah,
Be it
yeah.
the elf he plays and be it the Incubus everyone plays with.
Yes. No, Bernard's great. All you need to do is
Shout out to Steven.
shout out to Steven.
Shout out to Steve.
All we need to do is wind him up and just point him in a direction, and he goes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
Fantastic.
yes.
Like I said, so far we've been very blessed with the fact that we have so many good collaborators. Because yes, like Nephilim technically, okay, it counts as the 2 quote unquote minds behind the operation. But I really think that it's such a small way of looking at it because now we would literally be nothing without our collaborators, the community that we have.
Yeah, which has become such a big operation. now.
Such a massive thing because technically what we have so far is that yes, he has his skills. For context, I have my background when it comes to writing and the creative aspect of things, but I can't craft anything or hotwire anything or program anything to save my life.
Yeah, that's me.
There you go.
That's-
So Jason can do, or if we are talking and we go, it would be really great to make this puzzle. I'll go, yeah, sure would be great. Guess we'll never know.
Something that happened sometimes. One's like, wouldn't it be great if we had this effect? And I'm like,
Yep, let's do it.
Sure.
Let's
Listen,
do it.
I think that the disposition on the table was not just casuality. I think we're in this way because we are the one that we are like we can role play and we can act and we can do these kind of things. But then when it comes to okay, we need to build something.
Yeah, useless.
okay,
I think
but-
so. This
but-
side of the table.
That's nice.
But,
Yeah,
but
this
still,
was
when
the
it comes to
table,
that, so
I
like I do the physical, even though I do the physical world building, and all right, we have the general consensus that this is sort of a bit of a vision I had of how I want the story
We have
to
the
get
rough
there.
idea.
Yeah.
When it comes to world building, so my world building goes so like, all right, I have certain people I want to kind of mess with in the game. There are certain characters I want to
Yeah.
present, and some elements there that I kind of work on and help with. But when it comes to proper plot lines, individual character arcs, individual like literally a pebble fall and suddenly the moon is collapsing. That's mine.
And I think it's very fair to say so because honestly, like a lot of people believe that like these grand scale projects tend to be a one man show. In reality, it couldn't be. Like
can
you,
never be.
you have so many
it's
people with
impossible.
various
And so
background.
yeah,
and
so that's me and Jason.
Exactly.
Aside from that, the amount of people that we have, Bernard, we mentioned one of them. He helps so much with makeup and being there to
Yeah.
help in costume as different characters. We have Tanya, who we've mentioned, who's helped so much with content creation
have
and marketing. We have
John, who dressed, I think, 3/4 of the people present.
John, Rachel, Kurt here now is already the first one who's been so willing and so helpful for the fact that people like him who come up and ask, hey, is there anything I can help with? And the problem with that is Kurt is a player in the game. But the blessing with that is we have people like Kurt, again, shout out Steve, to numerous others who have been so gracious with the fact that their players, they have paid to be there.
Basically.
But somehow we say, hey, there's this convention coming up, there's this event, we might be there, there might be a stall or whatever. And without a prompt,
Shows up.
Yeah.
they show up to help.
Yeah.
So much so that we've literally gone for a break. We've left the stall in their hands. And
We found more people.
we found more people there because we have the fact that the community likes each other so much. And I think it's a testament to the reflection of it inside the event because of the nature of how this kind of storytelling works. It is collaborative. But what brings it together is the fact that you, as a participant, acknowledge that everyone's enjoyment is a shared responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you need to buy into it, and you are contributing. It is your generosity
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
makes it a believable experience.
So basically, even though everyone is a role main character, they're also the side character in everyone's story.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So-
that's such an important part
and
of this kind of game. 'Cause
exactly.
obviously, in D&D, the focus is much more restricted to just the,
The party.
players.
And the,
Yeah.
the
Meanwhile-
party and the players, basically.
Exactly. So that's the main focus. But in an event where there is 35 people, 35 players,
Mhm.
plus the NPC, plus the rest of the crew, like that, there is such a shared environment between everyone.
Mhm.
Like you were saying, like every person is both
Main
a
character.
main character and an
Exactly.
NPC for everybody
Exactly.
else.
And there's a general rule among all. Whenever you go to a LARP briefing, at least for the LARPs I've been to, there's always a common rule: don't be an asshole.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
So basically,
I think that should be a general rule just
it
in
should
life.
be, but like,
just in
at this point,
life.
yeah.
So basically,
Exactly.
it not
I
mean
feel like
your
it is. I haven't read the Bible in a while, but I feel like it.
Yeah, it kind of says,
So it
kinda
doesn't
says
mean
something like
it doesn't
that.
mean
Yes,
your
yes.
character not to be an asshole. Let's face it. I play a bit of a harsher,
Yeah.
authoritative figure in the game.
Yeah.
That his story arc is meant to be harsh on purpose to push certain story elements.
Yeah.
But although he acts a bit harsh,
Yeah.
tough love, and will generally look at you the wrong way most of the time, not being an asshole. So there will be a time where it's time for Kurt, time for Peppers, time for mine, time for everyone to have their spotlight in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow there's going to be something. It's his time to shine.
Yeah.
But and then when it's Pepper's time to shine, we should not step in and fuck it up, or unless we're able to elevate that person.
Yeah.
yeah.
For example, let's say that Pepper is about to be executed for his crimes.
What about his character? Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, nobody knew until now about my crimes. Now everybody knows.
We didn't say what crimes. It's
moving on.
viewers. It's your
fine, it's fine.
time. to
We-
find
we
out
We
what
can
these
edit
crimes
and
are.
post.
We'll
It's
cut,
fine.
yeah, we cut this part.
Pepper's neck. Wait, his neck or the?
Uh,
So how could someone elevate it? He could either like Kurt will come and try and make it worse for Pepe.
Yeah.
Obviously they would
Yeah.
they would know something's coming. And so Pepe like, I'm gonna be there to make your life a bit more difficult. So he'll go there, you piece of
He
shit.
did not rob one bank, he robbed two.
Two banks. He put pineapple on pizza.
I was about to say that. I was like, listen, that's
Or-
a crime that I will never commit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it's in a life. That's why it's fantasy.
He would rob the executioner's axe on his
Or-
own neck.
Or he could, fell one of the guards and
Yeah.
then Pepper could bring out a sword. So there's both ways. But
Yeah.
how would he ruin it? He'd just come, kill everyone, like, all right, let's go home.
Yeah.
That makes it
Yeah.
more a boring scene.
And to be honest, I think that's a great advice in general for any game, any role play game, especially. Like we say that so many times about D&D. Like when even though the focus is on a much smaller scale and is much more focused on you in certain moment, but you always have to leave space for
Exactly. Yeah.
someone else to have their moments, to
think
have their
100%.
You know,
It's a crucial thing. For
I,
us.
thi- I think
such an important thing.
last year we had a particular scene where I think Stephen and Terrence had
Yeah,
their
that was a good
grand
one.
moment. It was something like that. Was
Honestly, it was so unexpected. It was at this point, like
Exactly,
towards
those are
the
the
end of the
spots.
LARP, where we were all around the fire, just discussing like practically the morality of executing someone. I believe it was.
One of the
all the players.
participants.
Yeah.
she wanted it. By
One
the
of the
Yeah, fair.
participants who opted into the idea that they might discover something about her character that might warrant a large amount of people in game to want to get rid of her or to stop her from being a threat, and it splits people up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And during that scene, it was at a point where we're kind of choosing sides, whether the new guys want to become witchers or they want to continue being mercenaries or whatever. And at that point, I think it was Terrence's character who crossed the other side, and Steve, I remember it clearly, like just shouted towards, and they had this whole exchange.
That was a bit before the ending. That was
Well,
during the day.
it was
It was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a bit before.
Yeah,
so maybe
it
an
was
when
hour
we were
like in the
choosing,
afternoon. It
when
was
we
in
were
the afternoon.
choosing like factions, I think.
Yeah,
it
when
was
they
something
messed up
like
the
that.
timeline of how old they actually are.
Oh yeah, it was a funny one though. Yeah, it was a funny one, and also hello Rachel, by the way.
apparently
Yeah.
So they should have been in prison for like 15 hours, not 15 years.
Yeah, and there was a slight multiplication error. Shall we put it that way?
But that happened.
That
It
happens.
happens.
You roll with it. And
Yeah.
suddenly, Steven's no longer 18. He's 44.
No, it does happen in the heat of the moment though. Like
It
like
happens.
when
It's
you are
almost
role
a mess
playing,
up.
when you are that's the thing. Like people don't actually realize how deeply you get in character when you're playing at a LARP or whatever. Like it's very easy to get like flustered or confused
Oh,
about the tiny
yes.
details.
Yes.
And also as a side note, this I never used to believe like LARP blues were a thing until I actually LARPed and had LARP blues
I don't
Yeah.
get
Like-
LARP blues. I get LARP post LARP coma.
Post-sarcoma.
Well,
No,
I mean,
but
as an organizer, actually, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I strongly believe that to be true
Oh,
for both of you
As an organizer,
on
it's a very
different
context. Yeah, you miss it.
levels.
Yeah, you miss it, but as an organizer, the experience is so
And-
different.
Oh, I
And
can
actually,
imagine.
that's a perfect pivotal point for me to ask you the next question, which is what is the part of the LARP? Because obviously you take care of different aspects of the
Mhm.
LARP.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite part? What's your favorite thing to do that someone that comes to LARP like myself? I mean, because Kurt is probably more involved in the helping part than I am.
I will, yes.
Like someone that I would not know that you guys do. That is your favorite
So,
thing to do.
behind the scenes,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
in the game.
I mean, even in the game, as in
Okay.
something that is not openly manifest in front of everyone
Sure.
that you actually really enjoy.
Yeah. Go for it.
So I think one of my favorite things is obviously the evolution of my cosplay costumes becoming from something that
Okay.
please hold up for this day to
Mhm.
please hold up for multiple years because I want to reuse them because of the effort I put into them.
Mhm.
So like the monster costumes that I create and the puzzles I make, and then watching people actually figure them out. I'm
Mhm.
like, yes, it worked.
Yeah.
that part, or after 3 days of setting up camp and the set deck and the scenes and all the props me and Victoria went to go buy at 9 in the evening, and my poor car, how it's constantly full of stuff, and the garage. There's so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
much.
can
But
imagine. I mean,
seeing it all laid out and seeing like people enjoying that is just like.
to be fair, it is what I would assume you would be working towards. I mean, this whole thing goes towards producing this kind of experience for people, and that is the culmination of it. I mean, as we said earlier, there is a certain evidence, and it's basically a testament to the quality of your work that you have such a following in the community, and such a very
Dedicated
almost
people.
like borderline zealous community.
Yeah,
I think,
very
at-
that's
dedicated
Boris,
community.
That's the Boris. That's the Boris.
For legal reasons, this is not a cult, and we do not associate ourselves with any. But
However, the food is that good.
The food is that good. That is true. The food is
Listen,
that
we
good.
cannot talk about the LARP if we don't talk about His Majesty.
Boris.
Yes.
Boris.
Yes. So I'm
We need
I
to
think
talk
actually,
about
yeah.
Boris.
So I'm
By the way, sorry. I just want to
100%. Yes.
Yeah, no,
So-
I just want to point out that obviously there are some of our collaborators behind the camera. Thank you everyone for being here.
and they're currently
the camera,
bowing to
everyone
Boris.
is doing
And
it.
everybody is bowing to
So-
Boris.
So before I give my answer of what I like most about the LARP,
Which is
So
food
a
is
common
universal,
misconception
okay.
about the LARP is it's a LARP. No, it's a gastronomical experience with a LARP attached to it. On the side.
That's
So
essentially
for
what
the
we're aiming
uninitiated, who is Boris?
Boris, IRL, my brother Benji, is the in-game chef of Valemore.
Mhm.
And apparently,
He has a mysterious past.
he has a
but-
mysterious past, very mysterious, so much that
but
I
it has
that we had to write one.
culminated in.
Boris now has a
excellent
backstory.
yes, apparently a mysterious power also to
food.
cook
Yes, he has a
delicious
mysterious
meals
power
Oh,
to cook
yes.
delicious
out of
meals.
very simple ingredients.
Yes.
Yes.
100%. I think if there is so, when we finished that event, we released a feedback form for everyone because we want to learn. We want
Yeah.
to know what we did right, what we did wrong, what we can improve on. And the only section that had a full 5 stars was the food.
Yes. Some of our international friends compared the food of so last year the game was like 150 euro. They compared
For the whole
For the whole game,
experience.
the whole
Yeah, for like, what was
Accommodation,
it?
Food.
a
Yeah.
day and a half basically
Yeah, yeah.
experience. So it was 4 meals.
Yeah.
Which for I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
They compared it to a game that cost 600 euros.
I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
And if
pretty good-
anyone
that's
has
pretty
seen
good
why.
value.
And if anyone has been to Castle Choha, you know how good the food was compared to Choha.
yeah.
But aside from that, I think to be fair, the food we're very lucky with because if you're there for that amount of time, you
Yeah.
kind of need that fuel to keep going.
You,
Absolutely.
you need the salt, the
And you need something
fats.
to look forward to, even
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's we try to keep people as engaged as possible. But at the very least, you know that regardless of how your character is feeling or whatever, there will be food.
Yeah. It's always very heartening.
Exactly,
Uh-huh.
and we try to keep it as immersive as possible. We want it to be as aesthetically close to the game as
We
possible.
try throw in Maltese elements whenever we can.
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
which
we
is
did the
nice.
bread bowl with a Maltese fthira, which I think worked beautifully.
Yeah.
and
Yes. The bread bowls.
I've
dream of
heard
it.
so much about that bread bowl stew.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
really looking forward. And I know in the Discord, multiple people asked about food, and
They always
and
ask.
everyone
I'm
said,
starting to get DMs.
ask the Italians, which I think Tanya was the only Italian in the last
If
LARP,
I'm not mistaken,
I think so,
I
yes.
believe so.
We had a lot of nationalities in there. We had
Yeah.
about 10 or 12.
There is-
Even
yes.
Americans.
and I think
Yes,
there
so
is
the
even
American
more
guy
this
who
year.
lives in Spain.
Yeah.
There is
This
even
year
more
we have
this year,
this time we
right?
increase our Italian count to 3 and our French count to 2 as well.
Yeah.
Italian count, Italian count to 3. Yes,
Yes,
that's
yes,
correct.
indeed.
There is another
Mhm.
Italian.
So, what about?
So
But
are we?
food is I would say even an unspoken answer.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
what do you think about Malta apart from well,
And
The
what?
food, yeah.
the food?
Yeah, well, yeah,
People
absolutely.
come here because
Yeah,
we have good
yeah.
food.
It's the food. I would say my favorite aspect for the LARP is more of the sort
Food
of
aside.
the
No,
food
well,
aside.
aside.
The food aside.
Let's put it this way: we have food and then everything.
And then
else.
everything else, like Maslow's hierarchy. This one specifically, you've got just the food, and then it's a whole separate pyramid for anything else. I would say for that one, my aspect of it would be kind of the invisible architecture that goes with it. As we say, like Jason's a lot more of the tangible, mine is a lot of the intangible. I tend to get focused a lot on my little narrative webs. And so
Yeah.
on. I have a physical one, only Jason is privy to it. I have an
Privilege.
actual digital character web. It's like a mind map on steroids where I have every single character listed, every single story beat, and it goes on who touches what. This specific arc might affect these 7 people, and if this happens, then this happens.
We get a dartboard with the 2 strings and
Pretty
throw
much,
a dart and then
yeah.
another dart. No.
Think that one clip, that one meme from Always Sunny in
Yes,
Philadelphia.
basically,
it's
It's essentially
We have
that.
actually recreated that,
There you go.
that meme
Excellent.
in January.
It's that. I delve,
Thanks to Rachel.
I delve a lot more into it. It goes into such an unnecessary detail, but
Yeah.
considering that our whole thing is low budget boutique, personalized experiences.
Basically, whatever thing you turn over, you probably find something related to the story.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we want.
Yeah, pretty
Because
much.
If I start seeing even what we're inspired by in it.
Yes, I use what I like to call the X3 test, which is X can stand for anything else, and 3. So if it's hour 3, activity 3, story beat 3, day 3, meal 3, you need to check. You need to at the very least try to anticipate how the participant is going to be feeling by hour 3, for example, and trying to make everything fit in terms of pacing. But your experience in the game might vary extremely to Pepe's experience in the game.
Of course.
You might be off doing your own thing completely,
Yeah.
separately, because different factions might have different interests. Your character might have a different interest. For all you know, realistically, there's no obligation to participate in anything. And you're encouraged to want to try out everything, even though you physically
Yeah.
can't, because
Yeah.
things are happening in tangent.
And something onto that, like obviously we can make our own assumptions and we try to like literally say
We try to-
what could happen
Yeah.
and we try to think of absurd scenarios. But
Yeah.
players are unique that they can actually do whatever they want.
That is exactly
And
what
that
I
is-
wanted to ask.
And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know why Boris exists?
Because
Players,
loved it.
players,
The player, no, because their players are like, wow, the food is good. What's his name? Now it's
Yeah.
like Boris.
There you go.
Boris. That's exactly how it
Listen,
happened.
that's
Like we didn't plan it.
Very
It wasn't
s-
scripted.
I think this is something that you probably were going to mention as well, because I mean, both of us as dungeon
Absolutely.
master and you as a dungeon master as
Yeah.
well, like this is a
I feel left
muscle
out.
that you develop
100%.
playing D&D, because like, yeah, I'm gonna plan all these beautiful things, and like then they're gonna ask, who's this guy?
Who's the one guy cleaning dishes behind the tap?
Exactly, and they're gonna get super attached to
Yeah.
that character specifically. And I love the fact that you said, you know, I want to plan all these things, and everyone is encouraged to
Yeah.
take part into stuff or just go their own
They
merry
can do their
way
own
doing
thing.
the thing.
Yeah.
they
You were
do.
going to ask a specific question.
No,
for
which
that,
is
I think.
exactly this. Like
Yeah.
what I was going to ask is basically like, what is your experience regarding to preparing all of this?
Yeah.
And,
then you have
then
a Boris
still
situation.
say you have a Boris
Yeah.
situation.
So
Like,
I'll take it from my perspective, as you mentioned. Dungeons and Dragons is the
Yeah.
most kind of on this table, at the very least, the most relatable example.
Yeah.
Before that, even theater background.
Even theater,
So that's
yeah.
something.
Wow.
Most theater is obviously much more structured. You kind of know 99.9% of how
Yeah.
it's going. But the fun of it is still the dynamic aspect, the
Mhm.
mistakes that can happen, the doing things differently every night. But when it goes into things like improv, immersion, audience participation, and so on, it's a lot broader. My experience with it, bleeding into roleplay and so on, is you're going to create the parameters, you're going to create the physics engine behind it, essentially.
mhm.
You've got the rules. But beyond that, no matter how much you try to type and how much you write and how much you plan,
Yeah.
the chaos factor is the chaos
Oh,
factor.
yeah.
Yeah,
as
it's always
soon,
there.
We love
as
it.
soon as the plan hits the table, it's out of your
Yeah.
hands.
And I think there is a big aspect of don't get too attached to the things that you plan and to the things that you
Yes,
know happen.
Don't be
No,
married
because you
to the
never
story.
know. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
no.
Because you
Which is
never
why
know
I'm
where.
never, no, which is why the part I look forward to the most is, listen, I've created this setting. These are the things that will happen regardless of who's
Yeah.
going to be there. Go.
Go,
Enjoy.
have fun.
Yeah.
You do everything, do nothing, whatever.
That's up to
Then
you.
my job
Yeah.
is to facilitate as much entertainment as possible for you.
Mhm.
And that's the job of everyone in the crew, and that eventually becomes the job of the participants coming into the game.
And to a certain extent, there is a certain level of story being created by the players themselves.
Always.
I mean,
that.
apart from the whole character creation part, which comes before the game, like even during the game, like for example, drawing from my own experience, the whole Devon of Corso and shall we say the romance with the princess and everything.
That
That
happened in the game.
it happened in the game, like completely away from what my character was supposed to do, and
100%.
just
Like, hey, the reason.
then it was canon.
Yeah.
kind
The
of
reason
thing.
Hagen is what he is today is because of in-game stuff
Exactly.
that happened
Yeah.
instead. So if I did different choices and
Yeah.
decided to forego having going the usual promotion route rather than a bit of a more dark aspect, Hagen would be something completely different. To what
Absolutely.
he is today.
I worship at the altar of the rule of cool.
Mhm.
Yes, and most things that I try to do in these kinds of events. So, as far as that's concerned, I want as a priority to just let people do or achieve as much as they can, because I don't really see much point in telling people, no, you can't do this, unless there is interest in preventing them from doing that.
Exactly. Yeah, that I can
Once
understand.
you have, because the limitation is part of the fun.
Yes.
So if you know in game, like in real life, I can't teleport here. I have to do X, Y, Z to get to here. I can't immediately achieve this. The obstacle is part of, again, Joseph Campbell,
Yeah.
Hero's Journey, Thousand Faces. But anyway, the idea that the obstacles have to be fun. If I'm preventing something purely out of the sake of wanting to prevent something,
Well,
There's no
there
benefit.
have to be reasons to stop it. But
Yeah.
normally prevent them to allow for character growth and development as well.
Yeah.
Because like, what's the fun if you just go so overpowered? Like there are some people who are like, can I come to this game and be a mage? Like, no. The
Yeah.
growth to get there is part of.
There's
the
always one.
there's always
There's
one.
always
is-
one.
Actually, it's always to me as a DM, it's always so hard to try to make especially new players understand.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be friend with a dragon at level 1
Mm.
and call your friend for whatever it happens.
Yeah.
Because otherwise there is no
thing
no
is-
need for everybody else to
The thing is,
develop.
in our
and to
case,
be
we will let you
strong.
be friends with the dragon, but then everyone will call your bluff and call you no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
exactly. Because the
You know,
dragon can come and help you in these specific
Unless
The
it's
dragon
encounter with
dragon is
goblins.
currently unavailable,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
otherwise engaged.
You might be
Please leave it
friend
alone
with
after
the
the beep.
dragon, but
Leave your mess after the roar.
Wow.
Yeah, I do have another question now with going back to the Nephilim creations, like as an entity. Like, why Nephilim as a name? Is there a
Oh,
story
yes,
behind it?
Go for it.
That's me. So, in Judaic mythology,
Yeah.
Nephilim are the sons of the sons between angels and human women,
uh-huh,
Yeah.
yes.
or fallen angels.
Okay.
So it's they're both used. So they're either the giants in the Bible or the fallen angels. So technically, Lucifer could be considered one, but he went to hell. And
Fair
all
enough.
that shit.
Herald.
So and the logo goes onto it. So the logo, there is a dark wing, a demon wing, and
And
an
a
angelic
feather
wing.
wing.
Yeah.
The idea is that you need both light and dark to make a good story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Plus
the
even-
sword is because we have a lot of combat.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Plus, even mythologically, Nephilim represent the idea of the gray heroes that you would find in common myth and so on. So it's the idea that it at the least is a slight allusion to the kind of morality we want to play
Exactly.
with, the dilemmas that we might offer in game. The idea that we want you to be heroes, but
But you
we
might be.
want there to be a catch.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
That's very fair. Let me tell you,
Plus-
I've always wondered.
It's a pretty cool
no one asked
name.
yet.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool name,
So
but
I
then
feel like
yeah.
purely for that.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one asked yet. You're the first one
Yeah,
to ask.
no one, literally no one
because,
has ever asked.
because I like it. It's a first and foremost, it's a very cool name that I do concede, obviously. But I was always like, does it go beyond being a cool name? Like, or was it just okay? What's the coolest name that we could come up with? Nephilim.
We threw it
that's
at the dartboard. and that's what-
Yes, and luckily a domain was available as well.
Yeah, obviously we wanted to check in case we
Yeah, of
might
course.
be stepping on any toes. It happened luckily enough to be a relatively free space for that
Yeah.
specific term, so we thought, great.
It's interesting. I've always been curious. I've always wanted to ask.
Yeah,
yeah.
you heard it here first.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was the
Yes, now we'll make you a
perfect
little plaque.
space.
First guy to ask about Nephilim.
even in the star that you can put like
I'll make
during
him
the
a little
LARP.
pin badge. You
Yeah,
can
like,
another good medal for him.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question regarding Nephilim because obviously, for us, when we came up with the idea of the podcast, it was something, and then the moment it clashed with reality, it became something else. In the sense that our first edition of the podcast was sometimes live, sometimes online. And then the second iteration was supposed to be just us, and then we said, okay, well, why don't we open it with having other guests and
Yeah.
other stuff. So, what is the aspect of Nephilim that, like, what is the difference between what you had in your mind and then what it has become once it clashed with the actual reality?
If at all, I mean,
If at all,
or was
I
it
mean,
always like?
Is it all going according to
And
the plan?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Wait, we have a plan. Is what we.
Yeah.
So the first time I tried to use the name was to make like my creations on Instagram, but then it's like, oh, LARPs are more interesting to do, so I quickly shifted to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when Myron came into the story as well. So that's what we see V1. Apart from that, I mean, the LARP itself is an ever-growing thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could say, I imagined the LARPs to be this or Nephilim to be this, and it is now they're not, because as I traverse through life, I always put it's better not to expect how it's going to be, because you're going to either be disappointed or be like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. In our case, we're both big dreamers.
Uh-huh.
So I think inevitably, even the original vision was probably, it would be great to do this, dreaming about. It's always larger scale in your head.
I mean,
Yeah.
we do have what we want to do,
Yeah,
our own
and-
stories,
and
our
it's
own
fine to have
IP,
end
and
goals
all
as
of
well,
that.
obviously.
for
So, like,
sure.
we have the whole Witcher idea, but we do have things
We've got
aside from the
ambitions
Witcher.
for what we can do with it.
Yeah.
But I think the blessing then is that you do have limitations. I constantly, especially with my background, theater and film and so on, the bigger the budget, the messier it gets.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is very
And
true.
which isn't to say if anyone wants to sponsor us for a massive budget, we won't put it to good use. But,
They are welcoming the
yes,
mess.
indeed. But realistically,
All the four of us.
yeah, all
That's
four of
true.
us. That's-
Exactly.
Surely we can share, right?
Oh, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
I mean, share a
But
slice of
the benefit of those limitations is that it forced us to look at necessity, invention, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So the idea behind it is that the vision as it is now isn't super different purely because we knew, okay, we want this, we know we're not going to get this, but at least if we're aiming for all of this, we can filter it into what's reasonable, what's practical, what can still look cool. Because when you're incorporating things like supernatural elements, you're incorporating high fantasy, even though The Witcher isn't super high fantasy.
No, it's
but
true.
when you're considering the idea of, oh god, armors,
Yeah.
weaponry,
It's
setting,
not always
campfires.
easy to,
And
to reach
It's not
that.
easy. So once you filter that down to what can be achieved, then you're filtering down the
Yeah.
story. Then you're really focusing into how much of this can we improve on. So from there, we realize that we don't need a blockbuster if everyone is aligned if everyone's on the same page.
because then it makes itself.
Exactly.
It's true.
So yeah. So essentially, I think the main difference is that early on, before obviously we saw it in action, we were focusing a lot on the world, what we can add to
The
it,
world
what we
building
can
itself.
contribute.
Yeah.
So before it was world first. Now it's a lot more player first.
Okay.
The focus is we understand that everyone wants to have a good time. Everyone is there to contribute a good time. So if we focus it a lot more on the participants, the rest of it comes in.
I mean, not
Yeah.
to say that the world isn't important, because it's something, especially when we're like, because we're basically a new player in the whole LARP story. So
Yeah.
even the way we're priced and our availability and our Mediterranean
yeah.
center first, we're very much targeted as a certain experience as a alternative.
We're designed to be accessible. We're
Yeah.
designed to be a lot more of a foot in the door. If you've never tried it, it's a really safe place to do it. It's
And
not
even
super
price
in-depth.
point wise, I mean, with that money,
point,
one,
we
you
try
have
to
all the
keep
food,
it-
which is
yeah.
already good. So we try to keep the ticket fair. We are not making.
Well, I mean,
we're keeping. We're just making sure that we deliver a sustainable.
yeah. I think
experience.
I can attest to that, to be honest. Like as I said earlier, like they're from episode 0 up until nowadays, and in the future hopefully until you guys deem it fit to, making LARPs. I will be there. The level of value that you deliver, whether it is the visual value of the setting itself being brought to life, as well as the narrative value of the story being told, is there. The value is good.
Yeah, no,
and
absolutely.
this is something like a lot. Like, okay, yeah, we've been friends for quite a while, but I'm the kind of person that if I don't like something, I'm not gonna go. Like, I will support as much as I can, but I will not actively participate.
And if anything, we're grateful to have players like you who have been very vocal in terms of feedback,
No,
both,
yeah, that we
both positively and negatively.
Yeah, we have to say something about this though, because I know it's gonna grow somewhere. When they send the feedback form for the LARP, it was not enough for me. I'm sorry.
No.
I did start it off with
Charles prepared a novel.
An essay.
I love it.
An essay.
As a responsible organizer, I let Myron read it, and I did.
no, but
And not only that,
Wait.
I haven't read it yet. I just went, cool, thanks. So I'm sure it was good. I'm sure they were all good
I
points.
did preface it by saying, like, listen, this is like 97% of it is great. Like the 7 pages I'm writing is on the 3%.
I'm so
left.
glad it was 97% and not 90.
It was. I wasn't critical in the sense like.
No, but it genuinely came across as
tried to be
feedback
as-
of someone who really wants the best for
And
us.
that is something that I've said before as well. Like, I've said it to Jason, I've said it to you, I've said it to anyone who would listen, honestly. Which is basically like, if you guys do well, if your business does well, if Nephilim Creations does well, we all stand to benefit because we want to
that is-
participate in these kinds of events.
So there are two ways where
Yeah.
multiple people benefit from us taking the initiative on it. So obviously we have, LARPs at Malta. Hooray for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
don't need to
have-
travel to
don't need to
to
travel.
have a LARP.
I spend
Yeah.
so much money on plane tickets.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. And like, okay, so for our local audience, this is obviously a no-brainer. But for perhaps if we have a
And-
foreign following,
Plus, I
essentially,
mean-
traveling to LARPs is expensive. For anyone living in Malta, the costliest part of any holiday is most typically
the way we
traveling.
price is, it makes sense even for our international friends to come here because
Exactly,
they get
exactly.
Yeah,
the
'cause-
ticket value.
And generally, flying to Malta is not super expensive if you are in
No.
Europe.
Yeah.
Accommodation in Malta is not super expensive.
Yeah.
If
Shout
you-
out to our
if you
sponsors.
fly-
Plus
if
the
you
fact that
fly in
we,
Europe.
plus the fact that we even try to offer our own accommodation.
Exactly.
We have a 4-star hotel at a massive discount as well. So
So
considering
that makes it
Yes.
a lot more
Yeah,
affordable
yeah.
than traveling to other.
Shout out to Nora Hotel.
Yeah, so it makes it a lot more affordable for people that wants to try LARP. And to be honest, Malta is pretty central.
it's very central when it comes to a lot of direct flights.
Yes, there's a lot of direct
A lot
flights,
of
even from
frequent
northern
flights.
countries.
Yeah.
In Europe, obviously. Then, obviously, if you come from overseas, still, it would be much cheaper to come and attend LARP in Malta than if you go,
And for
in
example-
other, like, in England, for example.
And for example, when I went to Poland, like we met in Krakow, then we have a 2-3 hour bus ride to the location.
Yeah.
Here, even with traffic, you're not more than 40 minutes.
Nah,
Yeah.
yeah. 40 minutes is a lot.
With
Yeah.
traffic,
It's
with
already
traffic.
a
Like,
lot,
and
yeah.
luckily, this time we have a feast when the game starts, so even less
Yes.
traffic.
Plus, not only that, but the fact that we've got the shared accommodation even before the game. So if we're at the Nora Hotel or anywhere else, we have the icebreaker evening.
Yes, we have the
Yeah.
icebreaker
It's the
evening.
opportunity that even if you're on the far side of the country, you're still so close together that at the very least, if you want to interact with people, if you want to meet with the community before or after the event, you're facilitating that.
We're very much trying to help build the community aspect as well as the in-game aspect.
Yeah.
Because if people are friends or at least they know someone beforehand, they'll be a bit more comfortable, say, for us to have a bit of a interesting conflict in game and still be friends about it after.
That's an interesting point you bring up now, because here's the thing: a lot of people struggle. A lot of new people, new LARPers perhaps, may struggle a little bit with the interactions out of character and in character.
Yeah.
So, what would you suggest, for example, for someone who's starting in LARP and like vis-a-vis this issue in particular? Because yes, you can have like the off-game comment like, okay, kind of thing,
No.
but
Something I will never forget, for example, is with one of our now NPCs, like Sophie. Like I remember in one of the first games we were playing together, she was crying, bawling her eyes out, and I remember, and she was like, "Well."
this is a hand signal that there's typically
So
employees in a
basically
LARP
we're
like
just
out of character. Are you okay?
basically
Thumbs
Yeah.
up,
Thumbs up,
whatever.
okay.
Yeah, we have our check-in systems as well.
Yeah,
we
there's
have
check-in.
a lot of systems to make sure that people are safe, both emotionally and physically as well. we want it to be a safe space in many aspects, purely in the sense that even if we're providing the joy of the game is that you are engaging in a lot of repercussions without actual repercussions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Without
So we
real
want the game to be
repercussions.
safe, but we
Uh-huh.
don't want
And
people to.
we
to be honest,
very-
that's something that I liked a lot, like all the the possibility for consent of certain scenes and
Yeah.
the possibility to choose to be
Uh-huh.
involved
So-
into like physical confrontation or emotional
so
confrontation.
in the game, we obviously make the consent forms and the sign up forms and everything. Like it's smart. There are these teams we will talk about. Some
Yeah.
of them aren't great teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, and when we're going into a bit of a dark club, we kind of consent has to be sort of like I'm consenting to being present in these different teams, as dark as they may be. But obviously, you're obviously able to withdraw consent of that any time. So, for example, if me and
Yes.
Kurt are having a bit of an altercation and some touchy subject comes up, I can just say,
I'm out.
I'm out,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
comfortable
yeah.
with this, I'm gonna go off. But then we can say if we're both comfortable
Yeah.
with escalating, such as like
Let's go.
like you want to escalate
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah, there's a
it
lot of
allows
things.
you to have. So there are certain subjects,
Yeah.
for example, when I first went to Witcher School, I was a bit more introverted. I was a bit more not shy, but just a bit more difficult to get out of certain shells and certain aspects. But there, everyone was playing a character. Everyone was not themselves
Yes.
there. So
As it
gives you,
should be.
it gives you a bit of a safety net to explore certain subjects in a safe way. So let's say that I want to be a bit more outspoken. I want to try take the lead on this one. So I can be like everyone, try rile everyone up. But I'm still in a safe spot. So even if it doesn't work out, after we can just brush it off. We had a bad hunt. What you got? And everyone blows stuff and has a laugh about it. Or it might backfire in my face in such a spectacular way. It makes a great scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And without going into the scientific and psychological explanations of LARP and their benefits, etc., because I would actually like to discuss that.
Yeah.
That's a
One
whole
day-
other podcast.
Yeah, it's a whole other podcast, but actually maybe with an expert around the table as well, like a qualified. Like I don't think any of us is a qualified psychologist.
Wait, you
I mean, I'm not
qualified?
qualified with
Apart from
any-
Jade, but
I'm not qualified for anything.
We can.
so,
Jade can be on the podcast.
Jade could be on.
Jade could
Okay,
be on
Jade.
the podcast.
Next,
Next time,
What-
leave the mic.
I would
The
like
mics
to
are
actually
not your
discuss that
problem.
one day. It's true, but there is
We'll
a
switch Jade for Kurt.
please. There is an outspoken benefit to it. Like a lot of people do mention this. Like there's a psychological benefit
Yeah,
to trying out to
Oh,
not
yes.
being yourself
Exactly.
for that amount of
I
time.
can attest to it from the performance.
Okay.
Yes.
So to
Please.
go back even to link it to your previous question, when you ask whether or not I have had a lot of people ask me, or even when I mention this, or they tell you what are you up to, and I mention this or tabletop games, etc. I get a lot of people saying the exact same thing, which is I can never do it because I don't know, like it would be so awkward for me to play another person, or
Yeah.
I don't know how you manage to go on stage or how you go in front of a camera. Like how do you even get into it? Because obviously on paper it sounds silly. What people don't appreciate until they get into it is that the point is that it's silly.
Mm-hmm.
Your most liberating quality when you're in that is that you look stupid to people who are also looking stupid.
Yeah.
It is a collective thing. It is a level of buy-in and vulnerability that everyone agrees to some extent or another.
Yeah.
That let's all just do this thing together at that point. And a lot of people, even those who start off with our events, there might be a bit of hesitation at the start. The second they step into the game, and everyone wants to everyone suddenly either changes their stature or they've changed their voice, or now suddenly there's stakes and people are talking about a completely different setting. The fictional aspect of something like The Witcher lends a lot because you're taking them entirely to a different space.
Yeah.
You're letting that happen, and now if everyone wants it to happen,
Yeah.
it's happening. So now it's not just set, that melts away and you've got your narrative.
So you end up with people, if they decide to be normal, they're the odd ones out. They're not gonna.
That is true, and in
They'll
fact,
be able to
in fact, you do notice it every once in a while. Whichever LARP you go to, you get the one or two people who haven't gone quite in character,
Or having a bit of
they're
difficulty. and they end up
they're
being
feeling a little
the-
bit of
Yeah,
difficulty.
yeah.
I mean, we all try to kind of incorporate them in some way, shape, or form. But there's always like it's true. Like the ones who stand out the most would be the ones kind of like
The ones who are
who are
resisting
not,
it.
yeah, exactly, who are resisting the change.
And you can't
like
blame it because there is some resistance that comes to it. It only comes with time.
exactly.
My highlight in a lot of these situations is when I'm used to acting.
Mhm.
So I try to give it as much as I can without having to force it, obviously, or anything
Mhm.
like that. But there will be points where I'm playing either a very eccentric character or if I'm really into it. and there's a point where I'm there with usually a participant, and we're at it, and suddenly there's a quiet moment where the action's happening over there, and we just lock eyes, and you can tell that for a moment you're thinking, this is a bit silly. Anyway, back to it. So,
Have a beer and,
but that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Plus something that in my experiences abroad, like LARPs abroad tend to try ease you in, except the one I went to host, that was like immediately into the fray.
Yeah.
And that's something we mimicked last year. So basically within
We
within
like
half an
throwing,
hour
we like
section.
throwing people in the deep
yeah.
end.
So within
Yeah.
half an hour, our friend Manuel was digging up a grave.
Yeah.
And he
Actually, man was.
and, he's
Man, it's
and,
over here, by
and,
the way,
and I have a photo of him being like, "What did I pay for?" And then within
Why did I pay to do manual labor?
exactly
Manual labor.
Oh, Jesus.
exactly. And we also have like within the first hour they had a boss fight.
Yeah.
Like within 1 hour, they had already done alchemy. They had dug up a grave. They had looked for something. Someone shouted at them. They met with Robert and Bobbert. Magnus
Oh,
Long.
God.
Rest
Rest in peace, Robert and
And
Bobbert.
Magnus Long as well.
Magnus Dong also. who was there.
Yeah, so they
Magnus
met, so they met like so they met 7 different NPCs.
yeah, you can
they had 3 different side quests, and they defeated a mage and
That
2
was-
overpowered
yeah.
witchers.
Just in time for dinner.
Just in time for
That's the time for dinner. That's
I
one
mean,
of-
that's
yeah.
that's the life of the average adventurer. To be
Yeah,
honest.
to be
Exactly.
fair, like
Like,
even
if you
in the,
think about it, for example, in D&D, like people feel that a D&D campaign lasts for years, but in
Sometimes
reality,
it does.
It
the
also lasts for years.
characters- No, yeah, what I'm saying, like the characters, they spend together maybe
Couple of weeks.
6 months.
Yeah, a couple of weeks to
you
a
know?
few months.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And they live the story of a
Exactly.
lifetime.
So basically, you're just having 3 days of utter chaos.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the reality of what would be the Witcher world. And
For context, you mentioned my Curse of Strahd game. That started technically about 3 years ago. In game, we're a week and a half into the
Yeah,
night
I can completely relate to
because we play in essentially real time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that'll do it.
so there is that. Plus the adrenaline when we put you in high stress situations. For example, the boss fight where they had to fight 2 witchers and the psychotic mage.
Psychotic mage.
Second thing.
And they were literally like shit.
It's true.
And we also put in puzzles for them to solve while
Yeah.
so basically the idea was, wouldn't it be great if, apart from being taunted by someone, they're fighting 2 overpowered witchers, they have to solve a puzzle, turn off a gem, and then the both witchers snap back to
Yeah.
reality for like 5 seconds, like
Yeah, we believe a lot in the sort of in medias res, the very intense tutorial section.
Yeah.
yes. And it wakes people up.
Listen, it works.
Yeah.
It works because it's really like I think one of the hardest thing trying to do is like when you're going out to swim for the first time. Sometimes it's just easier to just jump in the
That's
pool.
like when you're done.
Yeah.
And we like to
Yeah,
push you
yeah.
in.
Exactly, rather than having to do the
But so, like,
excruciating shoreline
Yeah,
walk
the
until
thing
you
is,
get
we-
to the
yeah,
deep
The
end.
thing is, we
I
push
mean-
you in. You would have already tied a rock to your own foot,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and you went out without a knife. So
That's what
Exactly.
we sign up for, though.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
at
we
that
sign
point,
up.
when it's literally sink or swim, I think at that point, everything's there's so much going on that you're ideally not too focused on how you look
Exactly.
because everyone's preoccupied.
Yeah.
So we hijack the fight or flight system
Exactly.
Yeah.
and get you to being like, well, I'm
Yeah,
here now.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
That and it really does. Very
We might
honestly,
have to get Manuel to dig another grave.
Yes.
so too.
Second grave.
I'll keep the shovel this time.
No, but I think that's a real feeling for people that has dabbled in theater. Like when you
Yeah.
come out on the stage,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
first 5 seconds are horrifying.
Oh,
There's
yes.
there's the
Every time.
there's a
Doesn't matter
lump
how
in
many
your stomach.
years,
yes.
yeah.
I
Doesn't matter how
remember-
many years you've been on stage.
I remember. So I was in the
100%.
first game. I was behind the door, ready to activate the lights, like
Yeah.
especially like ooh magic, and I was there trying not to throw up. I'm hearing them behind me. Okay, so we're going. I'm like,
No, that feeling of like sheer
Yeah.
dread that you get before you start
Yeah,
is
it's
so
just-
crucial. I've always said this to people who somehow feel nothing before they're about to perform. You're an idiot.
Yeah,
Because,
how can you not?
Like yes, if you've done something for the 100th time, then you're going through the motions. But if it's that first time on stage, if you don't have that level of exhilaration, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't focus too much on it because I'm too busy. For me, it's I go into work mode.
Yeah, exactly.
and the way he can
In your
switch is
case.
just
That's
but
experience
when
as
you
well.
get to the point where people ask like how do you know, how does it not affect you emotionally or anything like that, it's because I'm a bit busy. I'm
Yeah.
there, I know when I'm breathing,
Yes,
I know how I'm walking.
what-
It's
what may be why an NPC might not get the blues. Like, all right, we missed the experience, but like in the background, we're like, all right, so I'm giving some emotional damage to this guy. But also
There's
in
a
the
lot of
background, I have
logistics
to
in the
remember
head.
that we have to tell the kitchen crew to prepare dinner.
Yeah.
So
I think Myron really framed it best. Like you're working there at the end
No,
of the day. Like
we are there
as an
working.
NPC, as an organizer,
NPC,
that
if
is
you treat
work.
it that way, because
It's
people-
different.
what we like to also encourage in the community is I treat it that way because I'm coming at it from that background
Yeah.
where it is work. But for our NPCs especially and for the crew, we want it to be a community thing where everyone's still enjoying themselves. We
without
want to
doubt.
make it as easy as possible because we don't want there to be a lot of logistics involved because the NPCs also have their own characters. They're there to have fun.
Yeah,
They have a few
exactly.
more responsibilities, but anyone can be an NPC because all you're doing is you're doing the exact same thing. You're playing the game, you're contributing to the story, but you have a couple of instructions.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's it.
But those instructions make a big difference
Yes, of
in
course.
the capability. So
Of course.
that's
That's
why
pretty much it. So it's still there as a fun thing for everyone.
So I have another question for you guys.
Shoot.
What's next for an Nephilim LARP in the sense like, what is the next step that you guys want to make? Obviously, we hope continuing
more
you know,
graves being
doing
dug.
more,
Yes,
more graves for
No,
sure.
beyond next week's
yeah,
episode.
beyond what is next event and
All
like
right,
do you have obviously to the capacity that you
Yeah,
can
I think,
spoil saying okay we have in mind we want to do
sure.
a different world but it's not the
We've got
Witcher or
options.
we would like to
So,
explore
so we
something.
definitely have. I think the storyline we're thinking 4 games for the storyline.
4 or 5, but
4 or
it depends
5,
on really the feedback, the community.
feedback.
But I think if there's a
But-
key word for it, we're looking at sustainability.
Yes, that.
In the sense that the game is growing, the expectations are growing, the participant numbers are growing, the ambitions are growing. So then it's a matter of things like practicality, reality, finance, imagination.
Because obviously we work full time. So unless unless this thing
Yeah.
gets big enough that it can replace at least one of our full time jobs, it's unlikely it can become a multi-year grand scheme
course.
event.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to maintain the 1-year Big Bang show, while
And
also having
sprinkling a lot of
and have
interesting
a
stuff.
contract game, have community events. Sort of
I think the contracting was a really good idea. It's kind of
It's a short little
yeah,
taster.
exactly.
It keeps you. It tides you over until
Exactly.
The,
That's
big
a
event.
especially for
perfect
the local
explanation.
scene, it works.
It's a little hit.
And I also think for new players is much easier to just
Yes.
dip your toe for a few hours
Yes, yes.
and
yes.
then jump into a 3
Exactly.
days game.
We try to keep it very accessible. We
Yeah.
want to prioritize people who maybe have not had that option to play in the large events 1st. But aside from that, we creatively were confident in the idea that while we have this specific storyline going, we have ideas for what we can do with something a bit more localized, different cultures, different mythologies, different eras, aesthetics. There are plenty of options.
So you're saying you can continue forever.
It can continue as long as we have the support to continue. it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
While we have the support, while we have the physical
Yeah.
support as well, because there's that, and we, don't have to put my house against a loan for this. We're
Yeah.
good.
I think our focus is as long as we don't forget that the priority is the audience experience.
Exactly.
That's
we
very important.
we try to make the smart choices in terms of things like logistics, finance, and so on. We try to focus on story and atmosphere,
We make
but
a-
we need the discipline.
We make a lot of things in house to, for example, we make a lot of things in house to make sure that one, they're customized for the experience.
Yeah.
Like 75% of things you see in there was either procured or made by myself, and a few other choice people. Plus, they're tailor made to the players.
Yeah, everything is handwritten.
it's
Everything
handwritten.
is customized. I know every single comma, full stop, question mark that
He
goes into
does,
those
he
character
does.
sheets.
Mhm.
And everything else involved. So even the messages, little letters that you find under a pillow or secretly in a corner, something that people might completely miss and never even find. It could be very relevant. It could not be relevant. It's all there.
That's the
nature of
customized.
That's the nature.
If we keep that individual element, that's why we're wary about going too big too quick. One, because we literally can't in terms of budget.
Yeah.
But two, we will. I only want us. I think we're both pretty much on the same page with this. We only want to go bigger if we know that we can handle
Exactly.
it.
That,
Yes.
Because
Very wise.
what would be the sake of going bigger, but then I can't focus on the individual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the individual feels like they're just another cog piece in a grand. Well, they are, but even other
Yeah.
piece, they're just a small pawn in a
At that
grand
point,
story. It's
go
like-
to a theme park.
Exactly.
No,
Go to a
that,
Renfair.
we are absolutely on the same page on this, because
I
I
would-
think all four of us as storytellers, I mean, at this
Yeah.
point around the table, like we've all either DM'd or wrote
Yes.
for you know
Yeah.
the LARP and everything.
My lens into it is that
Uh-huh.
everyone is a storyteller, so
Exactly.
that's
Uh-huh.
why it works. But
Uh-huh.
absolutely,
Yeah, but like
yeah.
the four of us around the table, I think we can all agree about this. Like in the sense that once you start writing a story, it always starts from something that I'm passionate about, the setting that I'm writing about, and then inevitably it turns as like my player's story,
Mhm.
No,
and
it
that is what you have to
It
tailor
is.
it, because that's in my opinion, and that's one of the surest way to go towards success.
It goes back to like everyone's their own main character and everyone's
Exactly.
a side character.
Exactly. No, I mean, I'm so happy that we managed to put that, no pun intended, on the table. Go on, I'm really light on puns
It was
today.
good. This was good. This was good. We'll allow it.
Today it really is light on puns. Usually it's
Outstanding.
much heavier than that.
Well,
Hey,
And
but
I-
it wasn't-
and I roll my eyes.
It wasn't in the brief.
Much more than
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, but honestly,
I
as
try
a-
to keep that as light as
Yeah.
possible, but he usually
We're grateful.
is, usually
But I would
is.
say, in a word, the support.
Yeah.
Yes, the
The-
support we get.
for
the-
as long as we keep getting that support, for as
Mhm.
long as people want it,
yes, without
as
a
long
doubt.
as we will try to keep delivering it.
One of the best things I get after our messages after the game, like
Yeah.
thank you for helping us letting us continue the
Yeah.
story.
We had,
letting
Yes,
us
without,
do
mentioning,
this.
without mentioning names,
No.
we found out that one of our participants even framed their ticket,
Oh yes,
Yes.
Wow.
Okay,
which is gorgeous.
That's-
and,
We-
and the other players are like they're like yes, my schedule is go to Malta to be a Witcher again, because the
Yeah.
people remained itchy.
I think
without,
I think the
Witcher
fact that
experience.
you involve the community so much, and also now from a crafter's point of view, that you
Mhm.
allow us to also contribute in our own way.
We're,
like,
we're slowly
to do that,
cultivating like
It's you're
Yeah.
building, I think, a community which is extremely beneficial, and something that the country sorely lacks.
I'm lucky enough that I managed to poach so many people from the cosplay community, and like
Yes.
hey,
And
they're
they're so
all
willing to
mine
do
now.
it. And we have the luxury that we can make as many mistakes as we want, really. Because we can only learn from those.
Yeah.
And we're making mistakes together
Yeah,
as a group.
yeah.
It's a team effort to fuck this
yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Essentially.
and it's the best way to fuck up. to be
Exactly.
honest.
Well, no.
As long as everyone is having
Exactly.
fun.
If we're not
And
fun-
everyone's in on it, so everyone
Yeah.
knows that if this was a mistake, we know kind of why.
Yeah.
We know that someone in the community might understand that better. So if you want to come up and you think that you can do a good job to fix this thing, go for it.
Plus,
please.
Yeah.
fuck ups make great stories.
Yes,
It's true, it's true.
Most of the
They're
benefit we get
hilarious
from the
afterwards.
mistakes.
I mean,
So-
rolling a natural one from time to time.
It's the best
It's just
option.
healthy.
It is
It's
my
just
No, the
absolute
thing
favorite
is,
thing.
since you
just
don't have a
healthy.
dice roll, you're gonna roll the one more often
Yeah,
than not.
I mean, that's real life.
Wait, basically,
natural ones.
what's gonna happen is they show up. Oh shit, I have a one.
One of the most iconic moments in the episode 1 last year was towards the end, where there was the werewolf piss
Oh, yeah.
pile.
Oh, that was hilarious.
That was completely improvised by Andrea, myself, and a couple of other guys, because
Shout out Andre, who's also been an
Uh-huh.
amazing
Andre
help.
is
amazing.
Is a friend of the podcast.
So,
as
Yes,
well.
it's
so
true.
how this started was hilarious.
Yeah, because basically Jason came over to me and, like, out of character was like, listen, I need to stall a little bit. We need to prep for the last bit. We had this agreement, kind of like,
If I need a
if I
hand,
need a
I'll
hand,
follow
just let
up.
me know.
Well,
And I went there, and people were trying to get out of the
I was
tavern
like,
tent.
everyone in the tavern.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, stop. Oh, we need to do something. Like, try it for the uninitiated ones. And I remember Andrea had this vial of beer she dubbed werewolf piss, but at the time it was really warm, by the way, because he kept holding
It's
it
like this.
on. And we made this whole initiation ritual where the new guys have to take a sip of this,
works,
and
it
everyone's like, ugh, and like, you know.
I
And
know
then
what one
there
point I
was
came back and I
Tanya,
was
the
like,
watch.
prepare for the sea, prepare and drink this. I'm like,
and then
and the
Tanya.
thing is, my reaction apparently was hilarious.
It
I'm
was
like,
hilarious
this
because,
is the
yeah.
first time I've drank this, and people got onto that.
And then there was the best one, which was like Tanya was spat it back out at Andrea, and it was amazing. There was like a couple of really like funny moments as well. It's like, this is beer. Like,
I'm really looking forward to this kind of shenanigans.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, so
some of the
much.
stuff. Because to be
that
honest,
was a natural one.
I think in the contract we've all been, probably because it was like a smaller group, but we've all been like like really in character and very like serious and very
It was also a shorter
focused. Yeah, it was a
experience, yeah.
shorter experience,
And
but I'm
also
really
very
looking forward to these sort of shenanigans.
Oh, I'm going to
100%.
talk to you so badly in the game.
So
Oh, so bad.
so first of all, if I can make a request
Mhm.
as a Skellige warrior
Uh-huh.
in your
There you
game,
go on.
I want to fight everybody. want to fight
you'd be surprised how many people asked for that.
I want to fight everybody.
I think the number one request we had was like, I would like a bro. I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Listen, it's less writing from our end. Of everyone's
Let me just be sure. We have a very comprehensive consent form.
Oh yes. So at that point, that's on you.
It's on you.
Yes. I'm ready
Break
to
a
fight
leg, literally.
just nobody. I would not like to do that. To break a leg, but fighting everyone is my biggest desire. And I said that, and I've already threatened, I think, Manuel and a couple other Witcher or wannabe Witcher. My end goal for this character is either kill a Witcher or die trying.
Okay,
I think we can arrange
so-
I
that.
think the second one is a guarantee.
Second one, yeah. pretty much, yeah.
But that's fine. That's
So
fine.
how
I'm
are you
gonna
about
enjoy it
dying
anyway.
Friday at 4 p.m.?
We can arrange that.
Can pencil you in
for that slot.
Can we check? Can we check if the slot is free?
Yeah, check.
Can we check?
Your people can call our people.
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll have our people
exactly.
talk to each
Yeah,
other.
That's fine.
We'll get Boris to hide the evidence in that night's stew.
Perfect.
It will be like a battle axe in the stew.
So besides my personal desires, if you are speaking to let's say if someone has been stuck with us for this long, if there is someone that is still on let's say unsure to join a LARP or not, what would be your pitch to say, hey, even if it's not Nephilim, please come to Nephilim.
Just do it.
But yeah,
do it.
what would be your pitch for hey,
You want to go first?
try,
I
give it a try.
Do,
Give it a try to a lot.
do you desire adventure, shenanigans, drunken BS, and being able to hit your friend in the face with not in the face, we're not allowed. Being able to hit your friend with a foam sword and he'll come back for more?
Yep.
Well, the jokes aside, it allows you to explore certain themes, moralities, etc., that we discussed today.
Yeah.
In a safe environment, you get to come back for more. The community aspect in taverns is amazing. Or if you prefer a LARP in a winter forest, dress up as a World 1 soldier that floats your boat, they exist, they look great, and that probably frees my legs off.
Myron?
Something I would say for people who are hesitant to maybe try to find out more about it. Okay, so my message to you is this: aren't you curious?
Exactly.
Aren't
You've
you
stuck
curious?
here long
No,
enough, you
like,
should be curious.
specifically. So because what is this? What's happening? Because the question then is, if you've been hanging out for this long, surely you've hung out because you're curious. But when you look into it, regardless of what LARP you're attending or if it even is a LARP at all, that applies to every aspect of life. Aren't you curious? When you consider the fact that you're questioning, why are these people dressed specifically this way? Why are they wearing this kind of clothing and not another kind of clothing? Why are the names etymologically more Anglo-Saxon than anything else? Why is the staff made out of a snake and not a gazelle? Aren't you curious? Don't you want to understand why at least 40 to 60 people willingly are actually attempting to go to a campsite, regardless of their... These people have wives and kids. Some of them, I guess, I don't know them. But aren't you curious? Why are they showing up to this point? Why are they doing this willingly?
We can
They
let
have
him,
paid
we can let him
money
run like this
to
for
be
hours. It's not gonna
Find
have an
out.
issue with that.
Ask someone. Reach out. Malta's a very small island, but if you're not Maltese, we have socials online. We have our website. We have other
We have
places that
international
you can ask
players.
people. We have international players. We're so lucky. Aren't they curious? Why do you think they're here?
They literally
I think we
fly
have our
here.
reel.
So
Reach
yes.
out. Be curious. Ask questions.
Yes.
Go to school.
By the way,
Discovery Channel.
where they can reach out for more info if they want to.
Nephilim with a PH. Just Google it online. If you write Nephilim LARPs, Nephilim Creations, you will find it on Instagram, our socials. We have our website available. And ask people around. Be curious.
And obviously we're gonna put all the Nephilim social as well
Most definitely.
in the description.
They're
of
going
the
to go
video.
right here.
No, down
Right?
there.
Right there.
Not right
I
here.
found it.
Yeah, just go into the description. All the socials and the website for Nephilim is gonna be there.
I mean, like, we have to wrap up now, unfortunately. Like, I'm having so much fun. Like, guys, this was honestly a lot of fun. It was great having you over. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so much.
joining
Thank you for
us.
the invite. We're super grateful
Yes.
for
Wait,
it.
you were invited.
I was. Yeah,
Well,
sorry.
He just showed up. It's just showed
He just showed up.
That's what he does. That's what he usually
Hello.
does.
So yeah, I mean, looking forward to the next couple of weeks. Looking forward to the next week after this episode. We definitely will be in
By the
character.
way, we presume that all the tickets. I mean, all the tickets have been sold for
We've
months.
been lucky enough
now.
to
Yeah.
pretty much
Yes.
sell out very quickly.
We
In
sold-
some cases, there might be the option, for example, if a player
Ah.
might not be able to attend, there might be
Yeah.
a ticket that suddenly pops up as an available one. I think at the moment we have one of those or two of those
We have
available.
2 tier 1 tickets
At the
currently.
moment of recording,
moment of
let's hope
recording.
by the time
Yeah.
actually
Yes.
that
Also, the moment of recording is 3 weeks before the game because when you said 1 week, I was gonna die.
Yes, yes. The moment of recording
Okay, yeah.
is
Yes,
way
because
before,
I-
yes.
In the case that there might, we try to keep it public if there are tickets available. If not for this one, there will hopefully be
There are
another
contracts,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, keep an eye
Keep
on,
an eye
on
out.
their on
Uh-huh.
their social media, on the
Yes, indeed.
Instagram page, on the website. There is going
Yeah.
to be for sure.
Our goal is to offer
Yeah.
this up to as many people as possible.
Exactly.
Yes,
So
yes,
We
yes.
want everyone to try to have this great
yeah.
experience.
I can
We
tell
have a
you-
newsletter as well. We have socials. Follow.
Yeah, I mean, you've always going to have our support. Like obviously, whenever stuff like this comes up, we're definitely gonna be talking about it.
Yes.
I
yes,
mean,
yes,
I
absolutely.
have been hooked for a good long while now. Pep has been hooked for since last November,
Yes.
I just
done.
want you guys
Absolutely.
to take like a photo or video before and after the game, especially him.
We want
Oh,
to do
yeah,
that.
we're
actually.
gonna
This
do
is
that.
me before the game. This is me after.
we have our best
Like-
best person on the job.
Like,
Yeah.
Shout
Shout out,
Rachel,
Rachel.
shout out to Rachel.
like if
have you
you
ever appeared on camera, by the way?
Uh,
Face
Not-
reveal.
not
Face
yet.
reveal. Face
Come say
reveal.
hi.
There
Come
she
say
is. Come
hi.
say hi.
This is our
hello
social
there.
media and content manager. This is Rachel.
There she is.
She's the one who she's
Hi,
the,
Rachel. That was Rachel, everyone. Well done.
she keeps us on track in many more ways than one, and
Yes.
most of the time it is because no, guys, you can't do that on social media.
see, this is why we lose track a lot.
yeah, we need people that keep us into those, boundaries.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we fire those usually.
yes.
Ah,
Well,
what
I
happened to them? I wonder. Anyway.
oh yeah, this is
Curious.
Oh, that's where the skeleton came from. Spoiler alert.
Well,
Manuel was
Well, one
digging
of
up. Yeah, was
We'll
digging
talk
up
about
one of the people that
Yeah.
used to collaborate.
But thank you
Yeah.
guys. We
Well,
appreciate
thank you
it.
very
thank you
much.
for
This has
being
been
our
fun.
guest, and we are gonna see you very soon with a bunch of other announcements. We are working on so many projects right now.
actually, at this point, we're soon go. Okay, so next week is the LARP, obviously for us.
Yes.
The week
Mhm.
after, we're going to be at ToyCon, and
Oh, yeah, I
we've
forgot
talked about
that.
that already. But just a reminder, we'll be at ToyCon there.
Yes.
Quite a lot of stuff going on there, and big projects coming up for us for Epic Geeks.
Yes,
And
the
indeed,
coming
everyone's busy,
weeks.
very cool stuff, and we're looking forward to it as
Yes,
well.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
The next few episodes are gonna be special episodes with
Yes.
other guests.
Yes.
Because now we have unlocked the guests.
I give
Yeah.
unlocked
Yeah.
the guest,
Yeah.
unlocked the guest
Yeah.
option, so now we're over milking
We,
it. At
we,
this point,
we
we're gonna have,
become guest brokers at this point.
we have like 6 or 7 episodes coming up with a
Amazing.
guest all the
Yes.
time. I think up until the end of May.
Fantastic. And
So-
hopefully, if we're ever
yeah.
back on the podcast, it'll be with a lot more progress from our end and with a lot more memories in between the
Apparently
podcasts
more
as well.
puns and pizzas. as well.
More puns and pizzas.
For sure, there will be more opportunities to have you back, guys.
Yeah, I
would love
It has
that.
been a real pleasure.
Yeah, so the one last thing that I would like to ask you guys, and I would like to instate this with every guest.
Yeah.
When you look at Pepe, don't you
Oh,
think he looks
Jesus.
like Robbie Damon from Critical Role?
Please say no. Please say no.
I feel like with the right lighting, if you put a hat on,
See what I mean?
Give him a little hat. Yeah.
He keeps saying,
That's
"Oh,
higher
he
budget
tries
as well.
to." Okay, so yeah, that's kind of his.
That's my
common quandary of
shameful
ours.
moment.
I don't know why he calls it shameful.
He's a handsome guy.
No, he's a very handsome guy. I don't see any resemblance. That's
That's
the-
okay. You're not
that's
the
the
one who
thing.
needs to
I
do it.
cannot
It's
let
okay.
him live one episode without me mentioning.
Jesus.
So.
But you'll need a photo ready in case people don't.
That's
get to
true.
know
In fact, I
today.
was thinking about it. I will have it ready for the future
need to
guests
find
as
a-
well.
Yeah, I have it
Like,
on my.
put it here
Actually, I have
next
it on
time.
my screen. No, that's a lie. I don't.
Okay, so thank you so much for coming, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, like you can always follow us on our social media.
Please remember to like the video, comment, subscribe, and send it to your nana. As always.
Yes.
So it's very popular.
We
with
Shout
love
out to
you.
Nana.
We love your nannas.
Yes.
and hopefully
On
you're
that
not-
note, bye.
We'll see you next time, and as always, keep being geeks.
Be an happy geeks.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.